opposite thing.
Yeah. And besides that, you know what Eve dad said? He said, "Why would I go to the show when I could watch it for free at home?" I'm like,
Exactly. No, I'm one of those guys. I agree. I
because
listened
that
to
does make totally a lot more sense.
no, I agree 100%. I mean, if it was like they announced it officially, John Cena's final match, that'd be like maybe. But again, it's wrestling, so like I'm gonna get duped. Like we all know this isn't gonna be Sting's retirement somehow.
Yeah, wrestlers don't retire. I do actually want to see that in March.
I had talked about it with my dad for a second about him, you, and I going. But the way I was working things out is that, like I said, the way I'm going, I have a trip earlier in the month, and I can't do two trips in the same month. Is what it was.
Yeah, I mean,
In North Carolina, I'm like, oh yeah, that'd be way easier for. I could just meet y'all there, and that would be a show worth going to as of right now, based on how that card looks. It's a pretty good looking card.
right. And then he just wants you to come out there anyway. So
That's the thing. I'm like, well, I'd come out there for that, and that'd be a good show to go to. But other than that, I mean, I could still go to North Carolina to see the Charlotte Hornets.
I mean, no, but okay.
No, I know the people in North Carolina don't even care about the Charlotte Hornets.
No, they don't. Yeah, no, he just wants you to come out there. But you're right, like watching because I've been to wrestling events and it's like it's cool. It's darker than what people don't expect. Like when you watch it in person, it's actually darker. Obviously, you can't have super bright lights on people while they're wrestling, but it's way darker than what you see. And
They
then
did that
not
one
here.
Mania. Remember where they said they complained during the Randy Orton AJ Styles match that the lights were shining at them and they couldn't see the match?
Yeah, that's an issue. And then, I mean, probably Mania is a little bit more lit just because it's at a stadium, so it's probably like more brighter. But no puns involved. The lights are brighter on stage, but I feel like yeah, it's and then you can't hear the commentary. But I don't listen to the
That never,
commentary anyway.
yeah, that never bothers me. Again, I'm listening to other stuff when watching wrestling because as of late I've been doing my workouts and then listening to other stuff. So that's one reason I didn't want to record an hour ago because I did my workout early this morning, but still got to make sure.
What did you work on?
I just do the same number of reps. It's all chest and arms is what I do. Again, I don't do leg stuff because my legs can't handle it.
You got to do legs, brother. It took me a minute to get to that point, but you got to do it.
Maybe eventually, but just with the way my shape, the shape of my legs from the inflammation and shit and all that, who knows?
Hey, listen, whoever is gonna be in shape at the end of this pay-per-view, God bless you. You want to
See
talk
if I
about
was
that for a
training for the
second?
Rumble.
You want
No,
to talk? You want to do
but I also
speculation
need to
talk?
be able to hang on. Like,
I mean, or try to jump in the cheer or whatever. Coach
yeah, I
K
can't
should be
do
doing.
that. I would it would turn into jackass. Like if I try to do that. But this is Banks versus Davis. Thanks y'all for tuning in. No, I saw Dynamite 2 years ago with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
That was great live, and that was a great card. But that's a good venue to see at Target Center. Again, an NBA arena. I saw two NXT lives at this super small like concert pavilion place. That was good. And again, it's little to no lights because it was the NXT Black and Gold era, but also like a place like that doesn't just drown the place in lights. But it's that thing like, yeah, if I can watch it at home, I'm gonna watch it at home. That's why we spoke so highly about the HBO Max day and date. And we'll talk about the Roadhouse movie. And Doug Lyman has an issue with Amazon not releasing his movie in theaters. So it's a heavy show. We got a lot of topics. Again, it's always wrestling, sports, movies here. But you want to talk about just the Rumble because it's hours from now. You just want to talk about the brief points before we get into the main topics.
Yeah, so I was supposed to go, but due to unforeseen circumstances, I didn't go. I don't need to elaborate. It's nothing like bad, particularly, but it's still out here, people. I'll just say that it's still out here. What's out here?
Oh my
Y'all
God.
take y'all guesses. It's still out here.
They never left. What do you mean?
It's actually getting worse. I hate to be the curmudgeon, but it's actually getting worse. So
again, this is Meet the Press. We've been going that's the problem with the country.
Well, I'll just say this. Well, yeah, it is because nobody masked up. I'll just say this in November. I don't know what happened, but dude, for 2 weeks, I was down bad. I don't know what was going on in November, but a lot of people said they were bad. But nah, it's still out here. But otherwise,
remember that SNL, the Matt Foley motivational speakers, like, I hear you're not using your books for reading, but for rolling doobies. So are people using their ski mask, but not their mask? Like, is that Florida?
Yeah. Well, no, everywhere in the country, but yeah, I blame Florida for a lot of stuff. No, but the Pooh Shiesty mask are still intact.
Because again, it's a hole where the mouth is. Like,
there you go.
Your mouth is a hole, I guess. Yeah,
that's kind of true too. It's only so much pausing you could do off basic human logic. Yeah, that's how you eat.
That's not even like well, actually, that's a no. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
that's how you breathe. If you have respiratory problems, X, Y,
like
Z.
The Rock. Speaking of, again, I don't think he shows.
Here we go.
I don't think he competes in the Rumble, but I think he shows up today. I'll say that. I don't think he's a Rumble entrant, but I think he shows up at the event.
He ain't in shape. What we've been saying for 3 weeks now. He ain't in shape. He couldn't do the micro wrestling Royal Rumble, all right?
That would be hilarious to see, though.
Actually, shouts out to Uncle Rock. Uncle Rock said we got to see that during Mania weekend. I want to see.
No. They have a TV show.
What channel come on?
I think it's a TLC
HGTV.
Show. It's something like that. I think it's My Life as a Tiny Wrestler or something like that.
TLC, y'all under investigation. Y'all keep doing these type of shows. Something going on.
Oh no, they are the worst people imaginable at that network. They prey on just. I don't want to judge people. They prey on the wrong type of people, I should say, in terms of like people who should not allow camera access to their lives. But yeah,
the 700-pound life.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah, so TLC might be
Amish people. I think it's like the people who wanted to leave the Amish, but they came back to the Amish, something like that. Yeah,
I would be Amish right now. It's cheap, cheaper living.
Gemini
cell phones. Write that down for one title. But I mean, they're trying to talk about them as signs. Remember that? That was about them.
There's a good show on what was a Cinemax show, and then it became an HBO Max show, Banshee, about like the guy who was in charge of like the crime in the town was a former Amish person. It's about like that's why he became so cruel, because he had this cruel upbringing, because he didn't grow up with no power, no electricity, none of that's just old fashioned work, using the whale for water and tending the fields,
which is pretty clean.
Yeah, the well water. Yeah,
and then again, you saving a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah,
the only thing is they probably don't spend money on soap.
But then again, they make great furniture, because over that Family Guy episode where they attack the Amish and they build like the Transformer type thing, it gets blown up and they build another one super quick.
Oh, so they're good with their hands.
Yeah. They're literally like master carpenters. That's all you got to do all day is just build shit, build churches, build houses.
So the Amish is a code?
Yes and no, I'd say.
It's a religion or a code? Same thing?
Yeah, because that is the same thing. But I literally think it is people so devout to the old way of life and a certain set of values. Mm-hmm. But again, you have the right to leave. Like that's the whole point of Rumspringa, is that they allow you to go out into the world for a few weeks or a month, and then you can choose to come back and live the Amish way. So that's saying it is like a religion or like a cult,
Okay, so just like pro wrestling, it's a cult. The Amish are a cult as well.
Pro wrestling is definitely cool. I mean, hey, what that man was doing was very cult leader-esque. So we'll get into that.
Great transition. I mean, how do you know how to title him? I mean, I got a title. We can't even say his name, can we?
Yeah, come on. I don't want to be one of those shows that doesn't, address the real and because they got to protect their interests and their fucking sources and all that. But, I mean, should anyone be shocked again? Should anyone be shocked? I was talking to you like Nate Diaz, like I'm not surprised, motherfucker. Like, it's Vince McMahon.
Right. Here's the thing, too, bro. When you look back at those skits, like in the past year, that's one good thing Twitter has done. The past year, they gave us rewind. Like, remember during the pandemic, especially, remember when Vince was wilding? It took 4 years of people to be like, yo, I don't think this is normal. Until this past week when people were like, oh, I understand why these skits happen.
It's not even that. I mean, when you hear like real stories, so again, like I always praise the Laps fan. And obviously they love Vince in a way in terms of he's a pure comedy character. The guy, JP Star, does a great job of improvising and impersonating Vince. And they make a number of their own skits based off of his impersonation of that. But when they read from people's biographies or watch the documentaries, like Vince is always this figure that like, this is a deeply fucked up guy. And one in particular was on the Unforgiven 2006 episode, they talked, which has one of the great lines of all time, the Owen Hart, why wasn't he there? I don't know. They reviewed that McMahon versus McMahon documentary that WWE put out in 2006, where there was like the two personalities of Vince, and the way they cover it, they're like, this is kind of a shoot in terms of like the people talking as the talking heads are like, he kind of is an evil guy, especially if you really get to know him. And there was a story that, on the Tribute for the Troops shows, flying in the big planes, to go to Iraq or Afghanistan, the Big Show had an air mattress to sleep on these planes. Otherwise, he won't be able to. And like Vince popped that shit and laughed. And it's like, and these are like, this is how demented and a bully this guy is. Like, he's just that evil. And like, these are his employees, his coworkers. It's not shocking to you again how he treats the women when you see countless skits over the years. And you had brought it up, and I said like in like the steroid trial revealed his affair. It's like because the woman was the one signing off on the steroid packages and all that.
Which is a G move. I can't even be mad about that one.
You have to have a proxy again. But like, what's your relationship? Well, do you and him have any other type of relationship? Well, yeah, we sleep together. And then like he's there in a neck brace as his wife is looking at him, and like his affair is now known to the world. And
his beard,
huh?
His beard.
True.
That's his beard. True. No,
I agree. I agree. I mean, obviously, again, all these powerful men, because this goes to Hollywood, this goes to sports ownership. Again, this is Donald Sterling.
Politics, especially.
Yeah, exactly. This goes. I get Bill Clinton, Donald Sterling, Harvey Weinstein, like these men in these higher up positions, especially after 60 years old, do shit like this, and it's not surprising. The level of grotesque is disgusting. Reading what was said, that's disgusting. But no one should be shocked that something like this went down the way it did. It's just the layers and the details of it is what makes it deeply disturbing. And how could someone work for this guy, and how could they continue to cover up for this guy and be his friend, so to speak? But like, of all people, Ronda Rousey said what we're all thinking, and shout out to her for saying it. But like, again, I've been saying like that's why guys like Bruce Pritchard have jobs, because one, they're not creative at all. They can't book, they can't write, they can't produce anything in the modern sense. They're there to be fall guys. They're there to be guys in the back room laughing, slapping their knee with them. Good old boys.
And this is on the cusp of what, 2 weeks ago, if that, of Kevin Dunn leaving or being fired.
Almost a month, I think. Now that you say that, yeah. So within the last month, I'd say.
But so, hey, Brucey, brother love, I loves you. You go on next too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they tried to take Johnny. I mean, they already took John Laurinaitis. Hey,
But you know how many people? Ooh boy, if people think they want Vince dead, it's about 1,000 people plus who want Johnny Ace dead. I never heard anybody say anything good about him at all.
Yeah, why would you? Again, I mean, that's why the Stooges exist. That's why these characters existed. The Pattersons, the Briscoes, and then Laurinaitis on there. Like, that's why Bruce Pritchard, and that's why it's always so funny to me that when Eric Bischoff goes out of his way to praise Vince McMahon, it's because he's sucking up, ironically, to get that job back. It's like, but again, he was a nasty man.
But not to this extent.
No, but still,
and I mean, it's the lesser of the evil still, but at the same time,
yeah.
Because the crazy thing is, like, I text you immediately. I said, if we knowing about this occurrence that happened a couple of years ago, imagine what he was doing in the 80s and 90s, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Boy, it's probably stuff even the devil would shake his head at. Well, he was probably doing in the 80s and 90s.
AWA, Buck Zumhoff has one of the worst stories of all time. I don't want to tell you look into it, but if you look into it, you'll be appalled of what he did.
Put in a private chat.
No. I'll just tell you off the air. But these stories,
they're
in every decade. Yeah, exactly. Every decade, every territory, and obviously it can start at the lowest level and go to the highest level. Again, it shouldn't be shocking. And the people, what does this mean for the company? Obviously, as a business, they're like, we don't need this, and that's why they forced him to resign. They kicked his ass out. But the irony is that they couldn't do that 2 years ago when it was almost the same shit, just no details.
And then again, he got caught. Not saying this can't happen on the Droid. I'm just clowning. But at the same time, he got caught on the iPhone. Everybody, YSL got caught on the iPhone. YSL got caught on the iPhone. Vince McMahon got caught on the iPhone. I'm just gonna keep trying to tell y'all, spend y'all $1,200 on the phone if you want to. I ain't seen nobody get caught on Droid.
And just put my phone in my laptop and go and just start over.
Type shit. And then you can't even clean the hard drive either because it's all backed up in that cloud.
So you're saying we gotta take out the cloud like the entity in Dead Reckoning.
The cloud is the entity, so that might be title number 2.
In a way.
Write that down. The cloud is the entity.
I rewatched that this morning. Because it's on
Paramount. Look at you for Paramount Plus. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Look at you. We'll get that sponsor eventually.
Paramount Plus? It's going to be shut down before we can get a sponsor.
HBO Max, I can't even ask for that money no more because they've been 20 different names in the past 3 years.
And they're the ones like giving away their content to keep it afloat. So sometimes we do hitch our wagons to the wrong horses here at BVD. Sometimes we be wrong. We be right a lot of times, but then we be wrong.
And that's the counterbalance to life. At least we can say we wrong. Some people can't say when they wrong.
Yeah. But no, I mean, to think about, again, that story dropped and this man went on TV that night and jumped off the stairs like nothing was wrong. Remember? Like, that's how we knew we were dealing with a lunatic.
Because he came in the ring, he said always and forever or whatever. He said whatever lullaby.
He did said, the Wolf of Wall Street. I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving. Like,
but you know how much what Mankind used to say, my goat, testicular fortitude. You know how much
testicular fortitude.
But you know how much pride you gotta have, how much arrogance you gotta have in your soul to know, yo, I don't even have skeletons. I got a graveyard in my closet, but I'm still gonna come out and be like,
no, yeah,
and say, yeah,
that's a good one.
I can't do nothing to me.
No, yeah, you got. Oh, he was the dead man. He was the Undertaker. Yeah,
and that was his best created character.
Yeah, maybe that's why he resonated with the character so much. Not to make light of it, but
no, I mean you got it to a certain degree because it's like, whoa, God, like we don't need to get into the details of what that woman had to go through, but y'all can read on your own.
And that's but anyone who ever worked with him, they have their own horror stories, whether it's creative or personal stuff. Again, this is a guy who created a toxic work environment, but because it was the only major, promotion in that time, they had to do it. They had to do whatever was sold. Otherwise, you got to go to the indies and struggle to make a living. It's not unlike the UFL and the NFL now. I mean, do you want to go to the NFL that's ruled by a guy who allows the shit to happen in the NFL like Roger Goodell does? I mean, obviously that's a different landscape, or what the owner does, because again, it's level to NFL as well. It's not just the commissioner; it's the owner of the team. As you saw,
we could say it's way better, just like the E. We could say it's way safer, so to speak, now than it was back in the 90s, or not even the 90s. Let's go to early 2010s.
Because now, well, you would say that now because of all they're trying to do would be a full functioning entertainment company, not just the wrestling company. They want to be a movie studio that puts on sporting events in a way.
And that's what's going on now.
Yeah.
And with the NFL, $16 billion, you only get that every year annually because you've taken out drugs to a certain degree. You've taken out steroids to a certain degree. You just taken out, the psychos. Like I tweeted yesterday, like most of my favorite athletes are psychos. You can't have the Aaron Hernandez, the Bill Romanowskis, the Lawrence Taylors in today's NFL because they got to deal with Nickelodeon.
See, I think those guys still exist. Maybe those guys aren't the focus anymore because of that. Like, Vontaze Burfict wasn't allowed to be a superstar like Lawrence Taylor. Vontaze Burfict was a maniac like Lawrence Taylor was. And obviously, it was the same type of player stat-wise, but in terms of like a guy who instilled fear in people, they were, the modern-day equivalent of that. But again, Vontaze Burfict wasn't going to be a superstar. As hard as Trent Polamalu hit, he was a smiley guy off the field and got shampoo endorsements. So again, like I said, it's probably just marketed more differently. A podcast I was listening to the other day, the Death Lineup, they were talking about the way the NBA markets stars now and try to put these new guys at the front. We kind of talked about that with the Netflix series about how Ann Edwards kind of should be the biggest star going forward. But look at what he has. Unfortunately, he has some minor skeletons in his closet the last couple of years with the Instagram video and then the Senda video. Like, he has had his own brush ups that are largely negative, but that doesn't fully detract from him. Again, they aren't crimes. It's just character stuff. These are not crimes he's committing. These are not anything on that sort of level, but it doesn't take away from how great of a player he is and how entertaining of a personality he is. When the IG thing happened, people are still glad this guy gives great post-game interviews and that he plays the way he does. And wrestling, again, the steroid era, and look at all the people that died before they should have, and they've of course corrected that to a greater number of people that survive compared to the previous 20 years. I mean, when I started watching, they were kind of showing in memoriam every week, and now the in memoriams, when they do show up, are people who have died of old age almost. I know Ice Train passed away this week, and that was someone kind of in their 50s or such, but it's not like how it was back then where guys were dying at 30 something or 40 something. Yeah.
Last Cade.
Mm-hmm. That was the last real bad one of that era. Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's like you just said,
natural
a lot
causes.
Of these,
yeah.
A lot of these wrestlers today, I mean, they seem like they more athletic, so they just not eating steak and potatoes all day and eggs, high cholesterol diets, and have no core strength. So a lot of them, they don't do drugs for the most part. It doesn't seem like it. No, I wouldn't even say that because they.
Oh no, I would say it doesn't seem like it because we don't know. Again, we can't tell. I mean,
because they too clean. You too clean looking. Like, you can't, for somebody that's like interested in bodybuilding that does it. I'm not saying like I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger or Michael O'Hare or something like that, but you can tell who's, you know what I mean? Not even just using a gimmick. I'm talking about overall with diet, and because the eyes, Chico, they don't lie. Like, you could tell who's sick and who's not. You feel me? So these athletes today in WWE, they probably gonna live way longer than the ones from back in the day. Not just because of the steroids, but it's more so the diet. Because people always talk about steroids. Yeah, that has something to do with when you take 9 cc's of HGH every day, like Ultimate Warrior was. Yeah, that'll do it. But at the same time, lack of sleep, lack of hydration, and diet, it really will probably do you worse than that, if you want to be honest.
Yeah, and that's why the Moxley thing a few years ago was like, oh, when he went to rehab for alcoholism, it's like it made sense because those last 3 to 4 months, his face was so puffy and bloated.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the signs of someone who's, again, that's a sign of drinking. Your face becomes so red and puffy and bloated. And then when he came back those 3 months later, and was just depleted and looked drained from it all, you're like, this is a healthy guy. Like, obviously, it was that bad. Before and after was like, whoa, the difference. And he said so himself. Like, he's like, people thought I was in great shape coming back from rehab. I'm like, no, that's what stop drinking does. Like, if you stop drinking, your body will just be depleted of that, and it withers away.
You saw me when the show first started, right?
Okay, we ain't gotta go that far.
Yeah. It was there to a certain degree, but at the same time, like you just said, it is show, especially with liquor. Like, liquor shows everywhere. Like, you look at the Cowboy Bob Wardens and the Harley races, they have these huge guts, all right, and deflated arms. That's from alcohol because it's being stored in your pancreas and it's being stored in your liver because of all that sugar. Alcohol goes to your process through the pancreas faster than anything that you can eat. You can eat 20 pieces of licorice right now. You drink 1 can of beer, or I'm kind of over exaggerating. If you drink 1 like cup of wine, you probably doing more harm than a piece of candy.
Yeah. But no, you're not wrong with saying the way they take care of themselves now. But then that's the Meltzer argument to that is healthy as they are internally, the style is different, which is why
we have a good thing too.
No, I'm saying the style of wrestling, which is we have to be careful. That's why the Darby Allins have to be careful. That's why the Will Ospreys have to be careful. The Ibushis, again, like you crash and burn after years of crashing. You've burnt yourself all the way up. You can't rise from the ashes again.
Well, because you taught in the beginning when you first go through wrestling school how to roll, how to bump, and also to protect yourself by not taking so many bumps off your bump card, as they say. So Darby Allin already depleted his 4 years ago. That jabroni that's over at that company too, I don't need to say his name, but that bucktooth bastard, he took so much off his bump card. Well, he don't know how to work in general, so he probably takes 10. It took him a month to probably do a left quarter roll, right quarter roll, back bump.
Yeah.
All right. So with him, he definitely. But for the most part, the new worker style, I don't like it. But at the same time, I really keep y'all head on straight, so to speak. Pause if need be. Like, I really y'all keep y'all mentals, because you're already taking enough bumps where if you wasn't over the age of 25, your frontal lobe is destroyed. So the ones that got in a little bit late and then they working a little bit safer, kudos to them. Like, all right, so the young guys I said NXT, the Bronze, the Trick Williams, the Mellows, they'll be fun. Now Mello needs to slow the hell down, but that's a whole different conversation. But
yeah, he crashes at bad spots sometimes.
Yeah, so he needs to slow down. But I'm saying in general, they'll be fine because they're learning from when you see, no disrespect, but when you see, I ain't no sexy boy, I don't dance. When you see him, you be like, yeah, but that he's from that era. Chris Carino from ROH, he one of the trainers over there. He'll tell you too, like, yo, it was a lot of dudes.
Oh, Steve Carino. Steve
Carino. Like, it was a lot of dudes I was coming up with. They broke and broken down. And no disrespect.
Well, that's the whole point of Seth.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of Seth right now in the last 3 to 4 years. That's, AJ Styles knew that, and he started slowing down 3 years ago. Anyway, it just the way it is. That's why last night with Rampage, seeing Christopher Daniels wrestle Takeshita, it was like, do you not, like, I can see you can't move, but you have to know you can't move because you're the one feeling it. And that's the shitty part of, like, watching someone refuse to hang it up. That's the wrestling business.
And he'll take high spots, but with him, he was a safe worker. It just, people fail to realize, or people don't realize, because time moves like this. Every second time is moving, and we get closer to the finish line as time progresses. Not to be morbid, that's just how it works.
But even if you do all the safe stuff, you can't land on the same hip over and over and over.
There you go. Frankie Kazarian, speed went away a couple years ago. But people got to remember, these dudes been in the business for like 25 years or so.
Yeah.
Like these ain't no spring chickens. These dudes is 50 years old. They might not look like it because they've been looking the same exact way since we was jits, but they
A lot
up
of the
there.
time, a lot of them do actually. Yeah, that's the crazy part. Is again, but that's the health thing. Like a lot of those guys, I think, kind of lived a healthier lifestyle compared to
Indie
the
workers,
guys
yeah.
around.
Because you were
But
working less too.
Yeah, especially
You
for
were working
TNA.
less and
Yeah,
going. Yeah, you were working less and essentially you going to the same. You don't have to travel to town, so you can get as much sleep as you want. If you like, you're just about to say, if you work for TNA, you're going to Orlando. Most of the workers live in Florida anyway, so you just got to take.
ROH are doing tapings for 3 to 4 days. Yeah,
yeah, and that's light work for them. Whereas like the guys from the 80s, some of the guys from the 70s still alive, but like the 80s and 90s, because it's all rock and roll. And because you can get your hands on performance enhancing drugs, and that's when the business was getting to where it is now. Yeah. Again, how Hulk Hogan is alive. Hey man, sometimes you gotta ask God. No, he's gonna be there.
I know, but I don't even want to talk about these promos he's doing. But again, that's to
I can't wait for him to show up. I'm about to be in tears, bro.
What if Vince did the Matt Hardy from 2005 just showed up in the crowd and the police have to escort him away?
So he can't wait, but he can't be there, right? Like if he buy a ticket, he could be there.
That's what I mean. He does the Matt Hardy invasion, like, but a shoot, you know.
Now that's what they'll get
with his cane, like.
Now that's when they'll get bad if he keep buying tickets. Like, is he like the Trinity flag man? Like he keep buying.
Oh my god! If he was in front row, he became Jack Nicholson.
Then he'll start getting weird, but it's not considered trespassing. So it's kind of like,
yeah, that's what they always say on the broadcast when the wrestler who's banned from the arena that night, they got a ticket, they're allowed to show up, they bought the ticket.
But with him, he got too much pride. Like imagine him saying, for something my pops or my grandfather started, I gotta buy a ticket for it now.
But he could buy all the tickets. That's the thing. He could make it an empty arena.
He could do just like Kanye when he's at the Falcons arena. I could buy out the whole arena if I wanted to.
2 times over. Just be real, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, who knows in terms of like the legal action? I mean, Diddy settled. You and Eve talked about brother love, the actual brother love, I should say.
Yeah. They said been settled multiple times.
But I mean, with this, it's, I mean, I guess again, this is more again, sex trafficking and these accusations and all that. It's, I don't think you can settle out of this like you've done in the past. This is a real like the piper has to be paid type moment, you know.
Yeah, this is federal. When you start bringing up that what you just said, those terms, because when you said that, that's the first thing I seen. I said, "Oh yeah, bro, you done."
I mean, again, company funds, which was the issue last time, which is how, you know, the insider trading, not so much insider trading, but like, you know, using your company's profits for your own use. That's a crime in itself as well. Even if you are on the board or not, but like I think that's what was one of the issues last time was he using these. Was he using company money for bribes to pay people off? Again, that's the crime. Was what was the issue last time was because this is a man who's avoided being locked up a few times, which is the crazy part. And for this to come now again at this age in life, like the Harvey Weinstein thing again, like for, you know, and his health deteriorated rapidly, and who knows if that was again God. I'm not a religious man.
You know what time it is, Vince?
Oh my!
Go ahead, do it. Go ahead, do it. Superfly. Walking to the court, just like this, just like he did. You got to do it.
I mean, we all know this man has looked sick the last number of years anyway, so I won't be surprised if his health gets worse rapidly, according to the reports, within the next 3 months or so. Because like I said, he could barely lift his arms to clothesline Pat McAfee. He has a cane now. Then you said it's a gimmick, it's a prop. He's working us. I'm like, or he literally can't walk.
I think he's still working us, but it's about to get to a point. I think every wealthy white dude,
who tore his quads at 60, of course he'll need a cane at 70, whatever he is now, close to 80. Yeah,
but again, it's like every wealthy white, I don't even need to say white dude, but every wealthy person has that break in case of emergency glass, and behind
Yeah.
it, I feel like they take some type of medicine that just make them go, they power level go.
Oh, God, I'm trying to think of what would it be. Yeah.
It's the reverse sensu bean. He definitely gonna take that.
Oh my God, yeah. But no, Nick Khan. Again, this is a guy who has his clients have done shit like this. Again, like he's not new to this type of world. Again, this isn't in Hollywood over and over. But the crazy thing is, again, are they ever going to be able to get Dana White out of the UFC for the shit he does? Like, because
what do he do besides telling his wife a good smacking?
He slaps his wife. I mean, he says a lot more shit, but the wife thing was bad again because that's on it. Again, that's on air. That's on camera. Like, come on. We can see that for ourselves. That's domestic violence. Obviously, the wife doesn't press charges like the Ray Rice thing. I was almost gonna say the Ray Lewis, but Ray Lewis committed a murder.
I mean, yeah, yeah, that came up too.
But no, I mean, again, with the whole like, do you not have morals? Do you not have ethics? Like, no, this is the WWE. This is TKO. Again, they still employ a number of people, especially on the UFC side, who have done and said terrible things. I think the irony was last week night. I mean, not last week, yesterday. Nia Jackson was doing an interview and they had asked her. It's like, that's not the person you should be asking. Okay. Based off what had gotten her fired last time. Let's not hear what she has to say about the Vince McMahon scandal. And obviously she wouldn't say nothing due to her cousin, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, as she likes to remind us.
Well, I think she could say something. It's crazy how dethroning the quote unquote king works. Like if you look at from way back in the day, if you go through all that, like the Dark Ages, you see these emperors, the kings, just like, all right, when you start losing your power, we was calling you God, we was calling you this. Everybody was doing this to Vince. Now it's just off with his head. It's just.
But
like
I say that anytime someone does anything, though. I say that I always bring that up about how quickly it turns. Again, the Sha'Carri Richardson thing. She was everyone's favorite track star. Then people found out what she had said and like, boo. And then she wins last year to get her ticket to the Olympics and they're back on the bandwagon. The John Morant thing. This is the greatest. No, but I'm saying, but people will do this. That, the John Morant thing, this is our next great NBA point guard. And then now what an idiot with the guns and all that. Then he comes back, he wins games right away. And then obviously his story is still being written, just like Sha'Carri's, but people love to. They want to be on the side everyone else is on, is what it is. No one wants to be belittled for standing up for whatever the rights. Again, we'll talk about someone later, and Conor McGregor, that's someone who I'm a fan of, but I can definitely acknowledge this is a terrible human being from the accusations he's had from violence outside of the octagon and all the other things. But
yeah, no, other things come up a lot.
Yeah, and again, it's how does something like that continue to walk the streets? But again, it's the courts. They settle. That's always been, I think, the worst thing about the court system. Not to get too, but settlements happen. People don't pay for their crimes.
It's America. If you got money, you can do everything. If you don't got money, you can't do nothing.
Yeah, the whole money is power exists for a reason.
If we got anybody who's listening in London, please get me out of here. Just tell me how I become a citizen.
I think it's crime in London's a little bit different though too. I think it's bad, and it's more. I forget how it's done there, but they can get away.
Don't get me wrong. It's bad everywhere, but just
but
America bad.
They can get away with some stuff over there that is insane. Obviously, because again, their tabloid culture is on steroids level bad. But there are a lot of times they're able to get away with it. Ironically, like I think their version of the Declaration of Independence is fucking. We can say what we want, do what we want until an extent, versus us, which is again.
No, you can't say that no more.
True, but again, that's why I always bring up the Hulk Hogan case, which is like one of the worst injustices of all time. Is that man was able to say, "That's Terry. I'm Terry Bollea. That's Hulk Hogan right there." So are you Hulk Hogan? I am Hulk Hogan. So it was like, can you? Who are you? It was a real the way that worked.
He's been saying in interviews, he's like, when I get home, I'm not Hulk Hogan anymore. I'm Terry Bollea. It's like
that's why that was the whole point of that trial, was exposing that. But every time, again, the TMZ report said Hulk Hogan saved someone, not Terry Bollea, and that should have been the whole case. Like, if you continue to identify as this man, then obviously you must be Hulk Hogan. Like, it's that the SpongeBob. Are you Patrick Star? Yep. So this I found this ID in this wallet. Okay. Therefore, it must be your wallet. Sounds like it. So take it. It's not my wallet. Like that was the Hulk Hogan case. Like,
I mean, I just can't wait to see him.
okay. Again, speaking of their own Kane walking out there. God.
All right. Yeah,
I think who's gonna kick the bucket first, Vince or Hulk? Let's say it right here, right now.
Us.
That you're right. Damn, you are right. Because like I said, these guys can't die. Because again, Ric Flair is still gonna outlive all of us.
No, it's like, well, I forgot about him too. I've learned a long time ago that old white people don't die, bro. It's evil ones. I'll say that evil ones don't die, bro. Especially if you're wealthy, you don't go. Like Prince Harry or whatever, they want him to get up out of here, bro. It doesn't happen. You got the resource, bro. Bill Clinton gonna outlive both of us. It's just it doesn't happen the way y'all think it is, and it's unfortunate.
Again, but
that's how
Bill
it
Clinton
works.
played the saxophone on Arsenio, and he was a cool guy.
Oh, I remember when Paul Mooney called him the first black president.
Yeah. Well, again, the Chappelle joke. Come here, little baby.
George Bush kids a black baby. Ooh.
Yeah. But no, I mean, again,
funny.
This you just have to. Again, no one can sympathize, or I mean, I always but misuse empathize and sympathize. But this poor woman who went through what she did,
yeah,
it's just insane. And obviously, she's right to speak up and fight for her life back and fight for what happened to her. And again, anyone who's on the Vince McMahon side at this point, just because they're a WWE fan, you're sick. And that's when you get, like you said earlier, like the cult mindset of being a wrestling fan. Like, look what they're trying to do. They're trying to take the WWE from us, or trying to take away Vince McMahon's legacy from us. Well, he did that himself. He made his decisions. He knew what he was doing, what he was standing for.
At that point, you got to be ribbon. You can't just be like,
no, people think like that. Come on.
You really are insane. Like literally, you got to be insane.
But the timeline in real life.
See, this is why the Joker movies be popular. This is why that second one gonna do numbers.
Exactly.
People like that.
Yeah.
Because that makes.
Oh, most definitely.
I couldn't even fathom in my mind that making sense to take his side. Mm-hmm. Like, bro, the text message is right there.
No, until I just said it, that people are going to be like, they're taking WWE away from us. And then you're like, oh, someone would think that because they obviously aren't right in the head, or they are just that delusional about being loyal to a company, again, that doesn't care about them. If they cared about every single fan,
nobody cares about you, bro.
My favorite guy would be champ. Your favorite guy would be champ. His favorite girl would be champ. We couldn't all get our way. Again, our guest next week, he has two guys he's rooting for tonight, and the real and both of them might not even win if Mr. $7 has his way. I mean,
brother, the yell I'm going to let out tonight if that happens, and the yell, like y'all heard me laugh before when we got our brother.
I got your laugh recorded on the I'll send that to you to be a drop. Your laugh
ain't gonna be no drop. I give you a new drop, because if I think what's gonna happen tonight, bro, when I tell you that
if it's number 30, if you smell, yeah, CM Punk has to fight him right then and there and be like, fight him like Chris Story.
Brother, the tears that's gonna flow from my eye. First of all, when Terry come out, I'm about to be in tears, bro. That's gonna make me laugh if that is to happen, but I think it is because he's been promoted too much for it to not be.
Oh, he'll be coming. Yeah, he'll be coming. Not to be an entrant, but he'll be coming out to be like, "Let's kick this thing off, brothers and sisters."
I'm saying he gonna get in the ring.
He can't get in the ring. Come on.
He said he good. He said in them interviews in the past year, he said no, he good enough to get back in the ring. He said he feels.
And who said they didn't have CTE? Chandler Jones? Come on.
He said I lost 50 pounds, brother.
He had said, what's the other thing in CTE? You just said it, motherfucker. It's concussions. That was one of the worst clips where he said, they said CTE is concussion traumatic. What's in it again? Like,
gee, if you don't know the acronym, just say the concussion part. That's good enough.
When he had said that, that's when you like you're at the camera looking at someone else like,
what if he ripping up? I'm starting to realize people just be probably
no. You can't give. See, here's my thing. You can't give people. You can't give people credit. You can't give them the leeway when it comes to shit like that. No.
something.
No, but he couldn't even get like the concussion part out before he was like, huh? What they say? What is CTE again? It was like that's like, and I'm not even trying to say like I can name it, but he was trying to make the point like they were making CTE up just to say we have concussions, blah blah blah. Like, come on. But again, look at the family he comes from. John Jones is his brother, so
maniac. Great athlete.
Arthur Jones is literally just like Cooper Manning. Like I didn't do shit. I ain't do a goddamn thing. I played
That's
my
the real
sport.
bloodline. Put them in
the Jones.
They'll have it for the promos. They got some promos for you.
Oh my god!
Just give them a microphone, let them talk. They might be 10-minute promos. They're gonna be done. But shouts out to John. I hope he good. Hope he off that booger sugar.
That's never stopped. That's why he just tore his shoulder because he's back on the juice. Come on.
No, that actually helps him.
No, I know it does, but see, he's
still heavy. Pause.
That was the point. He was supposed to defend the heavyweight title, and he had torn like a shoulder or something like that.
That was like 3 years ago, wasn't it?
No, it was last year. But again, his story is insane to me as well. Just the fakeness, like, was at the all-time high. Again, he outfaked Tiger Woods, and that's
about what he was always a shoot to me. I'm like, I could see you, dude. I could tell who you are.
About being the wholesome guy when the cameras are on, and then behind the scenes being the complete opposite. Because that's why I tell y'all, don't listen to these God first athletes, because when those doors close, people in general too, God first people you don't trust, but especially the athletes. Tim Tebow, I think, is the only one to ever turn out unstained.
Somebody said Tim Tebow was Jesus. I'm like, damn, they might be right.
Well, just remember, Ted said he was Jesus too, because he said, I didn't have a mom, I didn't have a dad, I was just born.
But I think it might be something too, because at this point, he's not ripping this. It's been 20 years, bro. At this point, if it was a work
for Tim Tebow,
he would have. Yeah, at this point, as a work, he would have been showed.
No, he is Jesus in a way, because like the his story of being born with the cord around his neck or whatever. Again, that's not Jesus' tale of it in its own. He was technically supposed to be dead when they took the baby out, but he was still alive. It's like touched by the gods, literally. And then they gave him the running ability of John Riggins.
And now he's 260 pounds and still look the same exact age when he was at Florida.
Yeah, he's never aged.
He might be insane. Everybody criticized him. He just kept on doing his best, bro. Couldn't throw a spiral, kept going.
At times he could. At times. I'll still defend him as a football player because he won games. Again, well, let's talk about the playoffs right now, because I don't want to talk about my team too much just because I don't want to overstress. And plus, the other game's the bigger matchup. Mahomes, Lamar, a real legacy is on the line. You had retweeted the Patrick Mahomes stats the other day. Already a Hall of Famer at first ballot as soon as he retires. And Lamar Jackson, like I said 2 episodes ago, if he wins this MVP and at least goes to the Super Bowl, I think that guarantees his spot, because prior to recording,
he might be already guaranteed. My fault to cut you off. But if it's the Football Hall of Fame, if it were the Football Hall of Fame, well, they call it
the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Because when we always used to look at it, it used to be like, all right, you're going off the NFL Hall of Fame. But then you got to look at people. That's why people look at the NFL Hall of Fame more prestige than the NBA one, because it's like you got to have a whole body of work from college till now. he has that body work from college to now. That's why some people talk about Cam Newton being a Hall of Famer, but it's like, nah.
He was close. He was closer than Michael Vick was. In terms, if we had to rank guys that should be in just based off their all-time peak, Cam Newton's ahead of Mike Vick because at least he had an MVP and went to a Super Bowl. And I hate to put down Michael Vick, but he didn't have the individual achievements and the team success that Cam Newton at least had for a year or two.
Now, Cam, if he hasn't went into the College Football Hall of Fame, he guaranteed to go into the College Football Hall of Fame. That's already
yeah. Based off one season too. That's the crazy part. This man played junior college for 2 years. Again, that's the thing that the Florida documentary, the Swamp Kings, was so disappointing is that they never touched on the fact that they could have had Cam Newton, but he stole some laptops, and so they had to kick him off campus, kick him off the team.
Still crazy.
A lot of things are crazy in South Florida at that time.
Florida in general.
Yeah. But no, I mean, because Lamar, I think, is going to win the MVP. They made McCaffrey and Brock Purdy finalists, which I think is accurate. McCaffrey definitely should have been a finalist. Brock Purdy, he had a great 10 games, and then the other 7 were up and down, I'd say. So I'm not mad if Lamar wins, and then I'm rooting for them tomorrow just because I can't root for the Chiefs strictly off the Taylor Swift and the Kelsey of it all. I am so fucking tired. No, listen, I'm not scared of them. Sure, they got that loser off of Twitter out of here. I ain't doing weird shit like that guy's doing. I'm so tired of cutaways. Again, that's why I didn't watch the game last week, but I don't want to see cutaways to the skybox, and I don't want to see this annoying ass family, this annoying white ass family. I'm tired of these people. I'm tired of them.
Let me tell you something. I text you about how I felt about Taylor Swift.
Which still pisses me off. Yeah.
Why
don't you say it on air? Say it out loud.
What? She look good. You look good. I said it back in the day.
To who? What's that video?
To me.
Yeah, to me. That's you.
All right, that's the title right there. She's very gorgeous to me.
Yeah, that's you. I've never looked at her at all and been like, because there have been women like that before where I was never really attracted to, and then at some moment I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm wrong. But with her, it's never been the case.
Hey, that's how I feel. But continue. Everybody talks about my taste in women, but everybody talks about anything I do. If I sneeze right now, look, Bank sneezing. Look.
Well, that's because you got
it don't matter. You can't say that, but yeah. Putting people's business out there. Thank you, sir.
But no, but
I'll find everybody if you care. He. Here's some more jokes for you. Tears of a sad clown. Go ahead.
But I actually hate the Kelce's more than the Swift part of it. I hate Jason Kelce. I hate that they have to bring him, his wife, and the mom. I have no real beef with. I mean, she just gave birth to 2 dipshits who are annoying.
Wait, what?
They're such tryhards and wannabes. I can't take these people.
They you know what it is? You right, but they like bros. That's why.
No, to me, it's even phonier than that because he wants to be Mr. I Sing for Charity. I like Harry Potter, and then Travis Kelce is the white guy who, again, code switching for black. Again, he was all about our queens until he wasn't.
He sound like you, except for the switch of size.
Okay, but I mean that's the thing. It's like these guys, they're cosplayers for whatever is going to be popular. Like, again, like he was shirt off in the crowd at the game. I'm like, we get it. You want the attention because you're a fucking center and no one cares about the centers. Okay.
But he's a Hall of Famer. Why would you say that?
Yeah. Again, I agree that centers and offensive linemen deserve credit because they have the toughest job. If you got to hold a motherfucker like Bruce Smith or Reggie Wright or, all these guys back, you deserve all the credit. But still, it's not about you, damn it. Like, you aren't throwing the ball. You aren't running the ball.
To be fair, they have a podcast that's over 600,000 subscribers, too.
Because they're white. If they were black, they wouldn't. The Bennett brothers existed, and the Bennett brothers were doing the same thing. Mike and Martellus Bennett were doing the same shit the Kelce's were doing. And the media was talking about it, but not to this extent. Again, the McCourty twins, no one. They had a deodorant commercial or something like that. Like we just talked about Chandler Jones and John Jones again. Like if they're gonna be brothers and they're gonna be black, they won't get the credit. At least because one's an ugly brother and one's a handsome brother, and they're white, they can get all the credit in the world. They can get all the attention in the world.
Okay, so what about the brothers? And I just mentioned their name last week and I forgot. The that was tag teaming the women in the hotel.
Oh, Earl Thomas and his brother.
Yeah, the Thomas
his brother.
Yeah,
his brother didn't play though.
So it don't matter. It don't matter.
It don't fucking matter.
They could have had a podcast about that's one of them $200 big podcasts I would listen to.
That should be Amp's dream guest.
But
so tell us about fucking with your brother.
But the wife is crazy and she just stole money, so it might not be no podcast.
But she was in the right to do that, because if you're gonna be having sex with your brother, if you're gonna be doing what they were accused of doing.
She's done a series of things to this dude. You can't take her side. She's crazy.
Remember in White Chicks when the woman's like, "What kind of fucked up shit is this?" When she sees both of them, and they were doing that for real, not cosplay, but like what she was accusing them of doing is what they were doing. Again,
I mean, you ain't never thought about Dusty doing with your brother?
No, you think Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy ever did that?
No, come on, bro. No, the reason why I'll say that because one of them is a simp and the other one has no sense of reality for life. Which
That's
one is
why
which?
I think you can do it. Yeah.
No, he is simp, bro. He don't even his. I was about to say that, bro. All right, you just said it. That bro talked about his brother.
I do like when you say bro.
That Dane, I can say other words. That Dipsy Doodle brain broad talked about his brother, and he just took her side.
You scamp.
If it wasn't for Jeff Hardy, brother, you'll be working at Whataburger right now.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, this is coattails for sure.
Yeah, so you can't. And then people talked about him and Swerve having a great match. You know why? Because if I don't have my older brother telling me, "Yeah, we should do this," I'm pretty much gonna do a good job.
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully he ain't back on the
like
sauce.
the Tin Man before he's oiled.
Hopefully he ain't on the sauce. He like, just one day I need it, man. Just one day. God, I need it one day, man. You know how they talk. They from North Carolina.
But Matt, I need it, Matt. I can't do it, Matt. I need it. I need it to go out there, damn it.
I need my willow juice. My willow juice. When he talk about
he was talking like that, like
that's when he was on that real good perk.
Yeah,
he was getting it from Atlanta.
He dressed the exact same, but put a mask on. That's what I hate. I hate in wrestling when you don't switch up the gear. At least put some different gear on. Damn it! Like
John Cena, fishnets cost.
No, but I mean, like at least when like John Cena talked about the one time he was gonna go heel, he had new gear ready in the like the 2010s, 2012 era. He's like, I was gonna have new gear. I wasn't gonna do the jorts anymore. All that. Again, that's why I said about Austin. Like Austin had to switch up the gear when he did the heel turn in 01. We've talked about that in the past, but back to the
what gear was he gonna wear? John Cena, he's gonna wear like his
trunks. I think he was gonna or the long pants, or the long tight pants. You know,
he's gonna be the prototype again.
Maybe, yeah. Those bike shorts and boots.
Hey man, it didn't work out, pal. You made way more money as a babyface as you would a heel.
He still would have made money. He still would have made money.
Not as a heel.
But
I mean, by default in that time, because it was nobody. It was him and Randy Orton, and that was it.
But who you got tomorrow? You got Baltimore or Kansas City?
You think, dummy? Going with Baltimore. Lamar Jackson, them about to come out and do the work. About to go with them, stupid. No, I'm in all seriousness. Like I'm going Baltimore, bro. They put together one of the greatest offensive teams I've seen in probably since the Patriots in 09. Nah,
I don't think they're. Come on,
they up there though. They not as close as that undefeated team, but they up there, but.
Because let's not forget, even the Peyton Manning Broncos that had Eric Decker and the late Demaryius Thomas. Those teams had weapons.
Yeah, but this team right here, you got old, even though he ain't old, but old men in NFL. You got
Old Beckham,
Odell,
yeah,
at 32 off 2 ACLs doing his part. I think they got the number 1 ranked defense being the Ravens this season.
yeah, because I think the Niners are top 5 in a lot of categories, offense and defense wise.
Yeah, so they got the number 1. The only thing that's a little spotty is a specialties, but even then, you can kind of make that up in today's NFL. Like if your safety or your corner isn't all that solid, you can still make it
just
up.
Because they allowed a punt return for a TD doesn't mean their special teams are bad. Because they have the best kicker left in the playoffs, so their special teams are good on that end.
They got a Hall of Fame kicker. It's kickers that go in the Hall of Fame. 2 of them.
Based off what we saw last week with Kansas City, like you need a kicker to win. So
he might be the highest paid kicker in history.
He should be, to be honest.
I think he is. Yeah. So like I've seen people wear Justin Tucker jerseys. So I'm like,
yeah,
kicker got a jersey.
Yeah, to me that's that, or like I said before, it's Sebastian Janikowski. That's a good one because he was great for the Raiders. Vinatieri too for the Patriots and the Colts because he was the best kicker at that time. Certain kickers are acceptable. If you had a punter jersey, no. Let's not get.
No, you're insane. Yeah, but no, I'm going with the Ravens. If the Chiefs do it, it's gonna be one of them Tom Brady type things. You just gotta shake his hand. One of the, I'll say Tom Brady.
That's where he is at this point. I think, to be honest, I think you just gotta. I can't even. That's the Anchorman. Actually, I'm not even mad. I'm impressed. Like
yeah. It's like with Steph Curry, not this season, because that 36 is showing up pretty early. But when you got to carry your whole team, that's what happened. But like it's Steph Curry shooting a 3, like you could put a hand in his face, but it's like you got to shake his hand, bro, and then you can do about that. So
I mean, to make this many AFC title games, even if you lost to Joe Burrow, but then you got it back, so that's the thing. Like when you have stats like that, that means something to me, like beating, because the game was in Buffalo last week, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just.
That's why the fan did this.
Yeah, that's because I'm like I thought because to win on the road again, that's something that cements your legacy. Like a lot of times they said like Kansas City's had a home field advantage with him as the quarterback. Yeah. What 90% of the time?
Yeah. Hey Bills, y'all gonna be cursed until y'all shake OJ hand. Until y'all let Juice back into the stadium, y'all gonna be cursed.
You think that's what it is?
It's absolutely that. They disrespecting Juice, bro. He got off that case, man. All right. If he didn't get locked up for something like that, then y'all need to let him back. Now he got locked up for stealing his own stuff. I ain't mad at it.
Yeah, I've talked about that before. Yeah, but they got him good with that. They got him good.
And everybody and their mama knew it. All right, that's just they was like, no, we got to run it back. And Vegas ain't that far from LA too, so it was like, yeah, we're gonna get him somehow.
That was a good like trapping him with let's steal his stuff just so he can arm robbery, get it back. Like he fell for it, and he was probably like, "Damn, I knew it."
Yeah, no, so that's all it is, and until they let him back into the stadium, they're gonna be cursed forever. Because look at the history since he's been banned from there. Ain't too much of a history. And they've had some good teams.
4 straight Super Bowl losses, and then the Josh Allen era, which he's basically mimicking Dan Marino. And I always say, no, because I say this, and this is what I mean, where I get poetic about sports, where like there's something going on spiritually that seems like it's preordained, like it's written. Like Josh Allen is already Dan Marino without a Super Bowl appearance, but like you put up great numbers and you have these heartbreaking losses, and you probably might be a Hall of Famer because stats will say it, and you'll have regular season wins to show it, but you didn't win anything. And there's nothing, I'm not saying that's a negative because only one team can win. Only one person can win an MVP award. But still, it's just shitty when something like that happens, when you can only achieve so much. And again, to continually lose to the Kansas City Chiefs, the same team over and over and over and over, as Marshall said, over and over, it just gotta suck. And this is how like Mahomes cements his legacy, because if they go in and beat Baltimore in Baltimore too, again, that's another thing. As a great all-time player, not just a quarterback, you have to win on the road win in the tough conditions, win when you have great numbers, win when you have shitty numbers. That was the great thing about the Niners win last week, is that no matter how bad Brock Purdy played up and down throughout that game, and he showed up in winning time, he finally did it. He showed up when it mattered most, that final drive. And he did all the stuff a quarterback is supposed to do to show he can do it. Because I was watching something earlier about Bonds, and as you and I know, like, Barry Bonds is one of the greatest, if not the greatest baseball player of all time, but he wasn't great in the postseason a lot of the time. And to be honest, that's the thing we should look at, like, I guess you can't be the greatest thing if you never showed up when you went to the postseason. Because they famously called him Mr. Knocktober because he wouldn't show, like, he just couldn't produce in the postseason. But damn, it's only to put up regular season numbers, but when you actually have to do it to get to this title spot and you can't, then I think that says something about your level of greatness. It was the thing with Peyton Manning for the longest time until he got his. Remember, like, Peyton Manning's one of the greatest, but he just can't get even to a Super Bowl until he finally got it.
Yeah, and I mean, he went against a pretty good Bears team. That's like Jay Cutler's like one and only. I wouldn't say
that was a Rex Grossman year.
Oh yeah, my fault. That was Rex.
Yeah, but again, they rode the back of Devin Hester.
Yeah,
Devin Hester doing kick and punt returns, and then they had
that's the Hall of Famer specialty that went into the Hall of Fame, or about to go to the Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Lane Spriggs and Brian Urlacher and a stacked defense. Yeah.
Somebody said I'm like Brian Urlacher when he got some hair. It was like, we didn't know he could
that was weird. That was disturbing when he had hair.
I think that was Tim that said that. Tim was like, hey, that's like, he's like basically like Brian Urlacher when he got some hair.
Because it was like, was he bald by choice? And then I think it was like he had plugs. So it seemed like maybe his hair was always thinning and just kept the bald look for football. And then
But that's not the place to be bald, though.
And
you gotta have some hair. Yeah, you gotta have some hair. You gotta, like, bro. I would have.
What is the place to be bald? Because you can't be in a place in the sun where come on, you're gonna be dripping sweat and be burnt.
But bro, you gotta have. I feel like in the Midwest, you gotta have 3 coats. You gotta have.
Not right now, to be honest. It's not that cold right now. So,
I mean, how many degrees is it where you at right now?
It's 30 something. Yeah, it's 38.
Global warming is weak.
No, but I mean, like, no. In terms of like when you feel like when it was 2 weeks ago in the single digits, that's cold.
But that's what I'm saying. Somebody said something about that. They was like, oh, they said in DC it was snowing, it was negative something, and now it's 70 degrees. We're doomed.
But when you deal in climates like that, again, like where we grew up and lived, we had hot all the time, so we couldn't know we didn't know no better.
Yeah, but right now in the, the area where Pop's at and not on the it's actually like 71 today.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, it's global warming. This ain't the weather report, people. I'm just telling you. Because they have something to do with football. Because, again, they'll be in San Francisco playing tomorrow.
Yeah, if it rains, I haven't checked the report for that. But if it rains like it did, I'm going to be nervous. Would be scared. But I expect that to be the case. That's the same thing, like I said, as Minnesota right now. It's that it was cold a few weeks ago, and then back to that. That's the global warming part is real. But I mean, that places I have 70 now, it's like, okay, like, want to brag about it? Like,
it's projected tomorrow to be 70 degrees.
Yeah.
I know the Lions like, damn, they got sun out here?
Yeah, but Jared Goff grew up in the Bay Area, so that won't affect him too much. He went to Cal.
That's why that's going to be the most interesting game for me, because he's back in his home state again for a game.
Yeah.
He's back in his home state. No, actually, yeah. If I got to make my predictions, not to jump the gun ahead of time.
No, I'm
going with the 40. Yeah, I'm going with the 49ers just because they're a young team being the Lions. They got 4 or 5 young players on offense. I think 4 on offense right now. They probably came to the Bay. I mean, the Bay ain't LA, even though I love the Bay more than my home city. But you can still go party on a Saturday night in the Bay and have a
come on, no, They can't go out and party the night before the most important game in the franchise's history. Come on.
No, they young. They about to get paid off their rookie. When their rookie contract is done, they about to get paid. They was in. I love Detroit. They was out in Detroit in the cold, so they really couldn't party. They going out and party tonight. They young players, bro. They going out tonight in the Bay. And trust me, like I said, it ain't LA fun, but I done had some fun in the Bay. And Filipino women, let's move on.
I just think they're not willing to throw what they've been doing away for that.
Dude, they young.
No, but like you watched the last two games, like the atmosphere at Ford Field, like it's insane. So now they got to come and be the opposing team. And again, they got a whole city, they got a whole state on their back. Because again, what else is going on? The Pistons suck. Michigan just won the national title, but they just lost their coach. We'll get to that in the next segment. The Tigers are it's baseball. Yeah. I mean, the Detroit Red Wings, my favorite hockey team, they aren't what they once were. And Detroit rap, I guess, is the only other thing that's got the city going.
Oh, that's the best reason to rap. Yeah. Let's speak on it if you want to.
Well, who's got better rap?
Detroit,
all right, so battle the same teams, Detroit, Bay Area. What's the better rap? Do it.
Yes, because they all sound the same. Am I lying?
So E40 sounds like Detroit people?
Yeah.
Dre sounds like Detroit people?
Yeah, because ironically, E40 people is from Mississippi. A lot of people from Detroit, from Mississippi.
You can't do migration. That's where like.
So why they sound like us? Anybody here from Detroit?
That's why. Why does anyone sound like that? No, why does anyone sound like the way they do?
Chloe from Cincinnati. It's a lot of people from Ohio sound like this. Explain.
Well, I don't know how people really. Does the Miz sound like John Moxley?
No, he's white. No, I'm saying like.
No, I'm saying like, do people like the people from Ohio? Do they sound like? Does Dolph Ziggler sound like?
You using honkies? I'm talking about people that look like me.
Well, I can't think of all right, LeBron James. That's the only black person I can figure from Ohio. Who does he sound like?
He kind of sound like he from Cali. Kind of.
Oh my god. That's him being an actor all these years.
No, he's been speaking the same way since he was 5 years old. I'm pretty sure his voice has always sounded like that. When he was a teenager, he sounded exactly like he does right now.
When he was a teenager, they thought he was a grown man.
Yeah, the hair showed. He had a Nat King Cole hairstyle.
We'll get to that at the end. We're giving away all those segments, but no, I think I'm rooting for Baltimore. I'm rooting for Lamar, not just for the fall of Swift and the Kelce's. I think they're also the better team, but it's stupid to say. But again, sometimes the most basic analysis in sports is the obvious one, which is you can't count out Pat Mahomes. It's like, and we had done that. Again, the club about the receivers, and he has made them better. He has done the Tom Brady thing about trying to make his guys better. The thing was, most of the season they were dropping these passes, and now they finally realized, like, oh, if we catch them, that's how we win. And it's betting against Pat Mahomes. I guess it's the LeBron James thing of like LeBron in the East. Like they got the young Celtics. He's like, I don't give a fuck. They got the Toronto Raptors. I don't give a fuck. The Indiana Pacers. I don't give a fuck. It's my conference, and I'm going to go and either win the title or lose the title.
This is LeBron versus Steph. In the NFL, you got two generational players, the best two players of their generation going against each other.
And then on the other side, it's Dan Campbell, who has the bravado and the boldness that I think Kyle Shanahan wish he had or should have at times. Because as much as I love Kyle Shanahan, my favorite coach of all time, he's an overthinker like myself. He's a guy who panics. The pressure, I think, does get to him, which is why not the play calling specifically, but clock management, like holding that ball hit the way he did before halftime. I think it is kind of like that Dexter meme where like he's at the test and he's sweating and it's like, what's 2 + 2? And then he writes the wrong answer because he's like that nervous. I think that's Kyle Shanahan. Like when the going gets tough, I think he's just like shit, fuck. Okay. That's how
that's exactly how he is.
No, because I'm that same way. I'm like, just let me think, damn it. Like,
Because the thing is, he just no sells it. But then
That's me.
He'll show his action. He'll be like, all right, slant left. Like he'll start.
And then watch how he like. Again, this is why he and I are the same person. I relate to him a lot. But like when he, they celebrate, it's just like a quiet, reserved. And then like when it gets wrong, it's just like, hello, darkness, my old friend. Like as soon as like it works against him, he's just like the deepest depression. Like he's big sad boy energy, and he has to compete against his dad's legacy, which is crazy to say, because when your dad's a 2-time Super Bowl winner, you obviously have too much. And he's almost one of the best coaches to not win anything important at this point. Again, 4 NFC title games, I mean, in 5 years, that's impressive. And with a lot of the same core, but to not get anything, not one Super Bowl out of those appearances, it's brutal. But I think they win against Detroit tomorrow. I think Detroit's the younger team. But there is something to where if Detroit gets ahead, the Niners fighting back is always, that's what they did it last week. But that stat existed for a reason, because they aren't a team that fights back. They punch first and park the bus, or, fight for points the rest of the fight. But still. Yeah, I know you said that. All right, first of all, Josiah Johnson, the way he looks and sounds, does not look like a California person at all.
First of all, who the fuck is Josiah Johnson? I keep hearing this dude.
That's the guy who does the all the NBA memes that get recycled over and over. His dad was the guy in White Man Can't Jump who gets the gun and robs the guy. He's like, "Is that you?"
I thought that was one of Refrigerator Perry.
Nah.
Oh, you talking about the dude that got the baby Abby on Twitter with the phone?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's Jabroni. Mark. I don't care about him. I got him blocked. Let's move on.
So Doc keeps saying how he like that. He sounds like the epitome of California people. Like, no, he doesn't. I mean, because you talk like this, like he's got like an Andre the Giant type bass in his voice for a California accent. It don't make sense to me.
No, you know who he looked like? I love McMahon.
Damn, you're right. That's
what I thought it was.
That's crazy to say someone looks like McConan. Damn.
Thought he got off the casting couch to the sports couch.
Damn, Black and that's like always you see. He's like, damn, that's crazy. That's true.
That's what I thought it was, man.
Shout out to them.
Going up on a Friday.
Yeah, I did that.
Okay, now I know you're talking about, because he always got a laptop. Like when I see the clips,
he's got the laptop.
Laptop. Is that all he do? He just be on the laptop?
He reads the shit to Gilbert Arenas and them. Like I said, when I every time I tune into Gilbert Arenas' show, it's always on clips. And like some Rashad McCants don't make any sense. And Kenyon Martin is just like, you need to settle down, okay? Like,
all right. Hey, Kmart, that's him.
Hey, no, I'm like, we just talking, okay? We just like it's.
You know what Kmart sound like though? I know he shouts out to Dallas. I love Dallas.
Yeah, that's right.
Greatest
he sounds
city
like
in America. But no, greatest. No. He sound like he from North Carolina. He definitely sound like all 20 B-Dot relatives.
20
without the click. Without the click, because he talked like this. Kmart. Yeah. So I was gonna beat Tim Thomas ass.
He does like a little bit like. So we was playing. Like.
We was playing, very angry, man. I'll be like, why are you always angry?
That's what I'm saying. It's like, settled again. Like, who did he want? He wanted to box Kurt Thomas, right?
Or he still hate Tim Thomas, bro.
Either one, either Thomas. It was one
that used to play for the Bucks. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but it was Tim that used to play for the Bucks.
I think Tim played for the Bucks and Kurt played for the Knicks. Yeah.
Yeah, because Tim is speaking of Hello Darkness, my old friend. He darkness in the mud. Bro, he was cold in NBA Ballers. He was cold in NBA Ballers. I can't hold it.
Oh my god. I don't think I owned NBA Ballers, but I think I played the first one. I don't think I actually owned it. Maybe I just played the demo. Because remember, you could just get the demos for free and just play the demo. I think I only played the demo of Ballers.
The jam packs and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I had NBA Ballers. I think I had.
What a weird game though.
Just
play one-on-one in a luxury house court, like.
Yeah, like you could have a uniform on,
you got
sweatsuits and chains on. It was very cool. But no, it was like Escalades in the back on like 30-inch rims. You doing a backboard, self alley hoop.
Do you think David Stern approved that, or was he like these
He never
people?
knew existed. No, knowing him, hey, I missed. He's
Well,
not
let's
up
segue to that
there.
right now. Let's segue to that
He's
right now.
down
You're right.
there in
Your
the
NBA
hell.
rant. I didn't know you and Eve had already used that about a month and a half ago when I brought that up a few episodes ago.
That's why I
y'all were
popped
laughing.
when you said it.
Yeah, I hadn't listened to that episode yet. Then when I did, I was like, "Oh shit," because I don't like.
No, but
that speaks to how again, and it all goes back to Vince McMahon. That man allowed that on television. Should we be shocked he's a piece of shit? No, he profited off a man's death.
and he wasn't even in the grave fresh, and he got that off. And then Randy Orton said just recently, it took years for him to say it. He was like,
well, I bet he didn't want to acknowledge it because he knew how bad it was. I mean, and plus, he's a piece of shit himself, a reformed piece of shit, I should say.
No, but you could tell, like, how during the promo, even he was like, yeah. Even during the promo, you could tell body language is everything, people, and tone of voice. So,
yeah,
I mean, never mind. I was about to get real dark because they said somebody that just recently passed got a Vince McMahon story. I'd say Ashley, what's her name? Mazzara? Yeah, she talked about him.
Again, Lita was told she had to be naked during live sex, and John Cena and Edge are like, I don't think that's a good idea. Again, that's who we were dealing with. Are we shocked? No.
And again,
it's
people,
like, what do they always say about like the people who kill their families? They always show a picture of them smiling and being happy, and then it's like them on a. They always use that same with the guy in the jet ski with his whole family. It's like whole family murdered by father. Like that's Vince McMahon. Like it was right there the whole time. But anyway,
and did y'all forget the Stephanie McMahon Vince stuff? Anyhow,
no. This was a man who literally wanted an incest angle with his own daughter. So. And then he said, maybe my son should be the father instead. And the son was like, the fuck do you mean? Like, I'm getting the hell out of here.
I want to go sell stocks.
Get the hell out of here. What if Shane McMahon only walked in and out of places doing the Shane O'Mac strut, like the Shane O'Mac shuffle?
What the bro, he got every pair of Jordan 1s. That's the only shoe he owned too. So he
I love his sneaker shopping episode. I love it though. I love his sneaker shopping episode.
He better than me. I like what 50 Cent did. He's like, I ain't buying none of these shoes.
What do you want me to buy sneakers for? I gotta buy sneakers.
That'll be the last thing we'll talk about before we
as someone who's not a religious person, I respect that. Because if God was here, show up.
No,
be a man.
But you didn't go to the church house and do it. He went. Dang, I might be from the South.
When
he went to the church house and do it.
Hallelujah and amen. Like again,
another angle that Shane was. He said he was uncomfortable doing it.
But anyway, the NBA,
holy water.
The NBA has a problem, America.
Yeah,
according to you.
No, me and all the old people in the chat.
Okay. So, because someone had a good tweet today. Someone had a good tweet today that said, as soon as one of those old Pistons Pacers games is played the way it is today, they're going to be begging for the rules to be what they are now. If we see 70 to 60 games, people are going to lose their shit. Again, do you remember the last Super Bowl Tom Brady played in with the Patriots?
Yeah.
Which one was it?
When he got the 6th ring, that was 20. I was about to say 2020. No, that was 2019, 2018.
Against 2019 against the Rams.
Yeah.
And what people were crying about, how there were no offense. It was just field goals and defense. Imagine and everyone cried. Remember, they're like, this is the worst football game of all time, and this is the Super Bowl. What a piece of shit. This is why.
Dude, I didn't say that because I was like, but that 39-year-old man is on his 6th championship.
Mm-hmm. But that was the populace. That's what they said. And again, the irony of Tom Brady saying the game is worse now. Like I said a few weeks ago, Because of you, motherfucker. That was your fault. Like, you got put in the position to change the rules. So now what the NBA has done is when they were allowing hand checking and hard fouls and guys that actually play defense, because that's what it is at the end of the day, guys that actually tried on defense. Because when you watch these clips and watch these highlights again, like, there's no anchor in the paint. There's no one trying to stop anyone from cutting through. And not even like the bad boy piston style where like you form the fucking wall and just bounce off a guy. So there's no contested shots at the rim. And that's why it pisses me off every time I watch the Celtics when they're on and I see Jason Tatum just settle for these 3-pointers. I'm like, go to the hoop. You can get a free throw if anything. Like, just don't settle for this bullshit. But then what the analytics tell us is 3 points are better than 2. So try it anyway. So you speak on it now, because this is kind of your main forte.
They dressing like Forever 21 models. What you want? The players.
No, the style of play, not
that's the main reason.
You think that's what's wrong with the kids today?
Yeah, they dress. Oh, no. I'm about to say something I can't say. They dressing
like Mickey Free. Come on,
they dressing like their girlfriends. All right, I'm gonna give y'all the PG version. They dressing like my girl Lori Harvey. They dressing like her. All right, they come to the court, bubble jackets on and hoodies over their head. They ain't wearing suits. That's the number one issue. They ain't wearing suits.
Wow, the man who dresses like Kevin Owens wants to tell people to wear suits.
No,
get the hell out of here.
That's it. I dress like a pedestrian on GTA San Andreas. All right. So that's the biggest issue. Number two, they got 2 parents in the household. That's the biggest issue. There's 2 parents in the household. I miss the days when dudes came from single parent households. Shut up. You know me. Never mind. I miss them days. They played a little different. Third, they don't cheat on their girlfriends enough. And when they do, it's with internet females. It's with internet females. Look, I know y'all dogging more Zion, but listen. He should have wiped her, then wiped the other one, and then wiped another one that we don't know of.
First of all, what country are we in? Again, he wasn't
the worst country in the world.
If he was playing in Utah, that would be acceptable. Okay, he can't do that in New Orleans.
Well, that'd be the number one place I think you could do that at.
But no, I mean,
you want me to keep going?
Yeah, keep going.
And they got white moms. That's the other issue.
Okay, when you and Eve talk about
it's too many light-skinned players. No, hold on. Not to cut you off, okay. There's too many light-skinned players in the NBA. There's too many light-skinned players in the NBA, bro.
Okay.
That's the biggest issue. We got to go back to having God rest his soul, some Moses Malone looking players. We got to go back to that, bro. We got to go back to Mo Cheeks looking players, bro. Dudes that look like they just got off their graveyard shift.
All right. Guys who were 60 at 26.
Yeah, we need to go back to Walt Frazier because he was.
My son called me Unk. That.
We got to go back to that, bro. Where people, if you don't step out on your girl or your wife or somebody else, you come from, I just got my wife and that's it. We got to go back to that as well. We got to go back to players smoking cigarettes, drinking. It's none of that. They don't.
For the guy who was saying wrestling's in the better place because they stopped doing the cigarettes and drinking, you want the NBA players who do the tougher job to go do that.
Yeah, because they live long. NBA players don't die till they like 80. Wes Unseld was like 67. He was the youngest, bro.
I'm trying to think of
Elgin Bateman died till he was like 79.
Yeah, but he was a hateful man as well. He was a hateful man as well.
Like Kareem's still here. People upset about it, but Kareem's still here. It's gonna be sad when Cap get up out of here, but he's still here. And Magic Johnson had the cure for, and all the broke motherfuckers passed away. So that's what I'm saying. Like Magic's still here.
You can make it through anything if Magic made it. Yeah,
AC Green still got a Jerry curl, bro.
But that's because he was a virgin until he was what, 30?
That don't mean what that just give you a limited supply of Soul Glow. That's why he kept his virginity.
I think by storing it within himself, it would allow him to keep his hair at full strength.
Hold on, he preaching now. All right, Dr.
Are
Saban.
you trying to think of like the amount of times you did as a kid? Like, does the math add up now? Like,
no, it don't. That's why I'm bald now, or not bald, but that's why I
that's
got
what I'm
nail
saying.
pattern
Yeah.
baldness in it.
You're
Oh
saying
no, hey,
you started
blame the
early, you were
website.
Halle Berry, here I come, and that's why you were bald so young.
And then the hair just went. Here
Time
we
out,
go.
T-Mark.
Go to your room.
So,
Time out is fun.
all right, first of all, I disagree with everything you said. It was wrong on so many levels. It was literally like that part of Billy Madison who says, I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. That's you after this whole rant about everything that's wrong with the NBA. First of all, I'm shocked you didn't throw there too many foreigners in there coming in here,
No, that's
taking
great.
our jobs, and
That's great because, bro, they have fundamentals. They know
So-
what to do.
Luka has said it's easier to play in the NBA because the rules are way more lenient to score. And I've watched EuroLeague highlights the past 4 months, and they have a lot of not low scoring games, but a lot of like 80 to 90, 70 to 80 type games. But just like the way it runs like a fucking NFL offense a lot of the time. Like you're actually running plays and setting in motion. It's not a lot of freelance where, of course, Van of all people would say that. I'm not going to trust anything Van co-signs, except dinosaurs. Except dinosaurs suck. He was right about that. Dinosaurs in movies or in culture and comic books, they suck. Fuck dinosaurs. They aren't entertaining.
Do y'all even believe in dinosaurs? That's my question.
That means dragons have to exist. And I think I'm like 50-50, to be honest.
No, bro, dinosaurs didn't exist. I don't know about dragons.
Well, no, because I think they can. Because like a rhino might have similar characteristics of like a triceratops, right? So I think they aren't like full-fledged T-Rexes, but I think certain species of dinosaurs existed. When you look up fucking evolution.
Oh, okay. So you going like, and I'm not going to get your theory, but it's like the theory of wolves are basically, or dogs are descendants of wolves.
Yeah.
I could rock with that. But then at the same time,
I mean, what's the closest thing to a pterodactyl we have that in a bird sense? I guess
a raven.
What's a condor, or what's our biggest bird? I can't think of one.
An eagle. I don't know.
But anyway, I believe in stuff like that. So in terms of like they might not have fully existed, but some form of them existed. Like in giraffes the long necks and the giraffes, they have to share some similar characteristics.
You crazy. You believe in science.
What did South Park praise science when the otters?
I haven't seen South Park in years, but I know that.
I gotta watch those episodes because that was the instead of God, it's science. They praise be to science, like science be damned. Instead of anything with religion, it's all science.
So the science of the NBA is what you're saying is because
I think it's
they don't play defense.
Yeah, guys, it's guys don't play defense, which is why the players who do play defense are the guys who have no offensive game because they know they have to do something to make it, which is why a Dylan Brooks has a career, a Pat Beverly has a career. Or if you're big, you got to play defense. Some like who can multitask. But a lot of times it's just they don't want to play defense is what it is. And that's been the case. They want to chuck up threes because the numbers say that's better, and they don't want to play defense.
They're too pretty to play defense. Like I'm telling you, look at the players back in the day that play defense.
Then why would guys want to play football? Look at Caleb Williams. Why would he want to play football still?
Because I think with football, because
why would Jalen Ramsey want to play football? I mean, come on.
Speaking of pretty, I don't know. Depending on what side of the spectrum you on with that prettiness.
I'm just saying. No, I'm saying like literally, what his demeanor wouldn't match a football player. Guys in the 80s would have been like, get the hell out of our locker room if you come in here with that, boy.
And they would have said, well, they would have said that too.
Yeah.
But, they would have said something else. So glad you said that before February 1st. Anyhow,
Bill Romanowski. I'm not saying that as me, but all those guys back then, they would have not allowed Jalen Ramsey to come in their locker room with the Beyonce vibes he was giving off.
He can get away with it because he in Miami now.
But he was in LA before. Come on.
Y'all see his markets, right?
It's Jacksonville.
Minus Jacksonville. Yeah, minus Jacksonville. But look at Miami. Look at LA. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right.
Love who you love in the NFL. Anyhow, but no, you still gotta have some type of gruntness to you to even want to get hit by a 300+ pound individual to play in the NFL. Doesn't matter how you look. With the NBA now, because it's no hand checking, it's none of the rules that they had before to even let you breathe. Now you can get 71. Like, bro, this is ridiculous. Like, this has been the worst season I've ever seen. I said this before all the 70, 60 point games.
You've been saying this. I know you've been saying this.
Like, dude, it's not fun. Like, everybody plays the same exact way. Nobody plays defense. Like, all right, Chet Holmgren as a rookie, even though he redshirt, is averaging 2.1 blocks.
I don't believe in that bullshit. He didn't play a game.
What you mean?
Playing the game is what makes you a rookie. That whole you've been flying around with a team, you can be learning. No, that shit doesn't count. You got to go out there and experience it yourself. The physical game, not the fucking other aspects of the game.
A red shirt, first of all, red shirting, I've always agreed with when it's like one, 2 times at the most. 2 times you ain't. Well, no, it's 1 time. Back in the day, kids, if you want to play football, you get red shirt once. You ain't got no career, depending on who you are. Now, who's that player? 28 years old. He been red shirt like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, a lot of times guys redshirted either for injury or to have the extra year of eligibility. Like if the coach said, I got a guy who most likely will be starting for the next 2 years. If you redshirt now, I can guarantee you this extra year. So when this guy's up, you can have your full 3 to 4 years to prove yourself. A lot of times it was used like that, either for medical reasons or for guys who didn't want to waste away their full season and cost them a chance to shine. And now with the NIL and the transfer portal being what it is, it doesn't matter. So redshirting, it's so much worse, like you said, because the guy who's 28, again, a lot of times it's been because of injuries, as Chloe just said, because that's how Case Keenum got an extra year when he was at Houston, because he got injured his senior year, and I was just it's either before the season started or a game or 2 in, and that they gave him that. But there's stuff like that. It's bullshit to allow so many, but they've given guys an extra year because of COVID. So that's why a lot of these guys who are 25 plus, I should kind of say 24 plus in college football, it's because they were in the COVID era, either as a freshman or as a sophomore. And if they've had injuries either around that time, that's why their profiles have been boosted. But it's still ridiculous, to be honest. But the whole you can play college football at any age is how Brandon Whedon got drafted, because he wouldn't play minor league baseball for 5 years, enrolled in college at 23, and then got picked by the Cleveland Browns at 27. So to each their own.
Yeah, so no, you're right about all that. Thank you for that information. But going back to the NBA, it's nobody plays defense. Like, if I'm gonna be serious, it's nobody plays defense. Can I fault them? No. Because here's the thing, like I always say, and I need to coin this term, it's hard to get out of bed when you got silk sheets. When you make it $200, $300 million, why would you show up to work when you're already about to get the money? Because they have guarantees in the NBA. Whereas the NFL, they starting to have a basic guarantee for all your money now, but it'll be like 3 years, 77 million, something like that.
And the eighth man make what the second or third best player on a team would have made 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like that's how skewed it is. Like the eighth man on the Rockets is making what the third best player on the Thunder was making in 2010.
Right. And then now these players are more so known more than ever, because not just because of social media, because of all the TV deals, so they know whatsoever. They know more than ever. So
the game is always on as of the last couple of years. Yeah.
Yeah. And they basically taking all the time. So it's like, as of this recording right now, the 76ers versus the Nuggets is on.
And it's the best sport to watch in highlight forms on like I do on YouTube a lot of times. Is how I watch the NBA. Yeah,
let's go.
Shortcut.
That's the other problem right there. Thank you for bringing that up, Davis. That's another problem because people don't really watch the game. I blame 2K and highlights because people think they're experts because they play 2K with their little stupid ass friends, buying their little stupid ass BC and their little stupid ass home with their stupid ass mama. Yeah, I'm talking about their mama because their mama letting them be 40 plus years old sitting at home, taking up the light bill, playing a dumbass game. If you're gonna play a game, you fucking play like a dragon. Infinite Wealth that just came out, or Tekken, the new Tekken. Yeah, that's what I do instead of sitting at home playing 2K like a fucking loser.
All right, get your dragon button-up shirt on and go play your Tekken.
Yeah, so I got to level 50, man. Yeah. So, but no, so that's another reason. And then there's people watching highlights. What really made it bad, and I knew it was going this way. Somebody said 2018. I was like, I thought I was the only one. It's all these trades. Now,
yeah,
I'm not blaming Kevin Durant. Yeah, I'm not blaming Kevin Durant, but when it was all these trades and making these teams from him going to Golden State, which I'm not knocking because Oklahoma, no disrespect, but if I can go from Oklahoma to Golden State, doing that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But to do that, go to the Nets, build a team with Kyrie, and then get James Harden over there, people just take the video game aspect and want to make it real life.
Yeah.
And no player, and I'm cool. I don't care where you go. It don't matter to me. But for the most part, trades have made the game what it is right now. Do I want to, even if these players were on different teams, they still probably want to compete? Because another thing too, everybody cool with each other for the most part. They're going to the same vacation spot. They sharing the same IG holes. They doing the same thing over and over. They got the same trainers. So it's really no competition because it's like we all clicking up.
They have the same sneaker brand. They have the same, Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like with the Lakers talk. The reason why people are always going to watch the Lakers is because it's the Lakers. It's the most popular team in NBA history. I know the Celtics has as many championships as them, but still, nobody looking at Boston. People look at the Lakers. So if I want to talk about this season, because I watched a ton of Laker games. The reason why the Lakers are playing the way they're playing, because when you have the second greatest player there, you might feel intimidated. But because you don't have that mindset to try to want to achieve even a little bit of what he's achieved, but also, too, the Lakers throughout history, or not even throughout history, I want to say the past 14 years or so, since Kobe has been getting old, they always had these players that you've seen on other teams or had a name in college and went to a team, got drafted.
Yeah, Darius Morris. You have University of Michigan, Darius Morris, as you tweeted the other day.
Yeah, my God. Oh, damn. He played for the Timberwolves at one point. He's from LA. Can't think of his name right now. But he went to the Lakers. He was a center. He went to the Lakers. But it's hard. Forgot his name. I can't think of it. But if we use, and then Mike Beasley. Mike Beasley went to the Lakers later on in his career, but you know what I mean? He wasn't, and I'm not knocking him. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Obviously, I hope he's well, but he has legit mental problems. So what I'm saying is a lot of players go from small market teams and then they go to the Lakers and they get relaxed. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because now there is no such thing as a small market team. Every team is a big market team. You know how many, bruh, this season is the first season since Russ left OKC. I've watched OKC games.
Because they're a team I watched. Again, they got Chet. They got the problematic Josh Giddey. They got Jalen Williams. They got Shea. They got a young core that's meant to go. They're what the Thunder were supposed to be. I mean, not supposed to be. What they originally were when the franchise was founded, a young core with a bright future. They just started all over again with different setup, a point guard and a center, even though Chet is KD-esque with his frame and style, but still. You're not wrong to say trades killed it, because I agree. And it's not necessarily KD. It's when LeBron made his decision, he made it for the right reason. I've been loyal to this team. I want to go elsewhere and try to win elsewhere. But when he came back to Cleveland on that 1 year, 2 year shit, that's what killed the NBA. Because guys started looking for way outs as soon as they got to places. And that's why the KD Kyrie thing didn't work, because they said we're going to be here at the same time. They had to get James Harden right away because, like, oh, we can't do this by ourselves. But two players that take up 70% of the cap space, you are going to have to do it by yourself. Either take the pay cuts or realize you can't play together. And that's the other problem, is that you should get paid what your skill set says you should get paid, 30 million, 40 million, like these guys do. I know Jaylen Brown signed a big contract prior to this year. Who knows if he's worth it or not, but that's what he negotiated. But still, when you want to have another star player to complete a trio, that's not going to work, because in your 4th through 12th man, it's going to be scrubs. It's going to be broken down guys. Again, when they went out and got LaMarcus Aldridge, who everyone knew they shouldn't get because of the health trouble he was having to leave San Antonio, which is why they got rid of him. Not in a negative way. They're like, this guy, his health is fading. We should let him go. We shouldn't just keep doing it. And then Blake Griffin, again, who had broken down so quickly and unexpectedly after that second year in Detroit, because he was an all-star the first or second year. Then he got his knees and everything went boom, quick.
Cold.
Goran Dragic, again, boom, done. Like, they signed, like, the Lakers
and having
did.
Steve Nash as your coach don't help either.
And that was the ultimate kiss of death. I agree. Like, Steve Nash, and there's a whole big thing about the NFL coaches this week. We'll talk about Jim Harbaugh in a minute. But hiring Steve Nash just based off Steve Nash the player, not Steve Nash, and Steve Nash the advisor, because that's what he was in Golden State. He was a guy who would show up to practice and just advise them on drills, but he wasn't a member of the coaching staff. And because Kyrie and Kevin Durant liked him and respected him until they realized he didn't know how to coach, and that's no knock on him. And he probably knew he didn't know how to coach, but he didn't want to turn down this opportunity for whatever reason, mainly because he was living in New York. And like, he split his time, I think, always between New York and LA. But it was like, that's the wrong situation to pick. You're going to manage these two big egos, and then 3 when James Harden shows up. And that's already someone who's a different type of head case in terms of stunting their own growth or blocking their own spotlight like he does. But yeah, it all goes down to guys, one situation. And if it doesn't look good right away, they look for the exit. I know Bill Simmons and Ron Russillo always talk about that. It's like, these guys sign a deal and they're like, when can I get out? As soon as it goes bad.
Yeah.
And it almost seemed like Kevin Durant was doing that last year when he got to Phoenix. And they went out and got Bradley Beal to pair with him. And it's like, it's not working. It was like, well, who do they have from 4 to 12? Grayson Allen, old Eric Gordon, and a bunch of guys who would either be scrubs, bench warmers on the other team, or G League guys. And that's no knock on the G League, because there are good players in the G League, but it's you guys go up and down from that for a reason. They have a skill set to play professional basketball, but not to maintain a starting spot.
Right. And, they don't get ball any minutes. I don't know what's up with that. Like, every team he's been on, he's had some type of showcase. Like, when he was with Orlando, he had some good – when he had some minutes, he played well. So, yeah, no, you're right about that. This isn't to pick on
there
Kevin
is
Durant
something
either.
to – real quick, there is something to abandoning a project right away that the NBA has really stepped up in the last 5 years. Like, they want to give up on someone ASAP if it's not working out.
Yeah, it's a microwave league.
Yeah. But I get it, because it's such dire straits in a win now, even though it's a long-ass season. So allow Markelle Fultz to get right. Again, like, look how his situation played out, and then he got to Orlando, and then he turned into a different type of player probably than other people expected. But at least he was trying to have a career instead of what was happening in Philadelphia, where they were just sitting him because it wasn't what they wanted.
Yeah, it's a win now league, but the problem is now you're in a position where it's like, obviously it looks like the Nuggets might win again, but then who knows? It's to a point now where so many games that 82 games don't really matter as much as they used to, because for the most part, most of these teams are close in anyway, as it seems. But then they start to pick it up once it gets to about 40, 50 games, more so 50 games into the season. Like, after All-Star break, that's when everybody's like, all right, it's a decision that, all right, we want to make the playoffs or to play in, we don't want to make it. Hey, 1, 2, 3 Cancun, and that's what it's always been for the past couple of years. It's not like back in the day when players had to play for their contract, so they go on all out all season. That's just what it is. It's the world we live in now, man. They make it too much money for them to really show up to work and be consistent because why should I when I'm making $300 million?
Yeah. And talk about what Vince said about Giannis. But again, and they hired a coach with they fired a coach with a winning record and replaced him with a guy who hasn't won a title in 14 years, 15 years.
Yeah.
That's bad decision making. You pick a guy whose teams continue to lose in the playoffs due to his coaching. Because he had great teams, and it was either his coaching or bad matchups. Like, not every team they lost to went on to win the title. Let's not forget that. But they got out, but some of them did, and some of them didn't. But he's just, again, what I said about Kyle Shanahan, maybe. You're a great coach to a certain extent. And Doc Rivers, Jim Harbaugh went to 3 straight NFC title games, had an 8-8 season, then dipped because Trent Baalke and him weren't getting along. Trent Baalke wanted the credit for the Niners' success, and Jim Harbaugh had rubbed him and maybe some other players and some other people in the organization the wrong way due to his personality, which I agree is a psychotic man when you look at him. Like,
funniest coach ever, bro.
Yeah.
I laugh every single time he used to be at them games.
Just look at Jim Harbaugh during the Niners. And he would wear cleats on the sidelines. He would wear the catching gloves like this. He thought we were really in a game.
Well, this season showed at Michigan, though. The stuff he was saying.
But what happened, the previous 9 years, he was Doc Rivers. He can't get over this hump. He was having all these things break towards his way. He was having great players. And the worst losses you can have in football was like Jim Harbaugh at Michigan the last 10 years until this title. And like the punt loss to Michigan State, I saw that live and I was just like, ain't no way you lose because the punter couldn't catch the ball. Right. And they literally recover it and take it in. And that's why the guy who rocks, like, he's right. Because, like, and Jim Harbaugh, want to be like, you sons of bitches, mother. Oh, shit. God damn it. Like, it's amazing.
And he's hilarious when he starts cussing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When he starts cussing, it's hilarious.
But then he's all, shucks, I'm just a guy from, Ohio, and then yeah. Like, I think he's going to succeed, especially in the AFC West, because no offense to Antonio Pierce and the Raiders. I think that was just a Cinderella story for last year. I don't think they have much of a future because the team doesn't have any money, which is why they picked Antonio Pierce to be the coach.
Yeah.
And the Denver Broncos. They're idiots. John Elway finessed people into liking him and believing in him because he ended his career with 2 Super Bowls after being one of the, again, worst clutch players of all time. He couldn't win a Super Bowl in 3 or 4 attempts. Yeah. And then he wins 2 at the end of his career because Terrell Davis, as my dad would say. And then he dips. And then he joins the ownership group. And yeah, they win with Peyton Manning. Congratulations, Peyton Manning and his noodle neck and his noodle arm won you a fucking Super Bowl because Cam Newton didn't want to dive on a fumble. And that Denver defense was giving him fits too.
Right, they had a future Hall of Famer on that defense.
2.
Yeah.
Well, DeMarcus Lawrence is already in, right?
I think he just went in.
He just got here. So they had him and Von Miller and maybe 1 or 2 other guys. But yeah, I mean, the only competition he's going to have in the division is Kansas City. And those will be interesting matchups offense-wise. Him and Andy Reid, Mahomes, and a healthy Herbert, hopefully. But did you think he was going to pick any other team but the Chargers? Because I definitely knew he wasn't staying at Michigan with all the shit that was going on. He was not going to stay to be suspended again. Or worse.
Isn't in the Hall of Fame yet. I'm sorry.
That's right.
No, I mean, this is rumor for a minute.
Yeah.
So you can't. The thing is, your predecessor won 4 games. First of all, he was crying as if you were out for the whole season or you passed away or something. Like, dog, it's 4 games, yo. It's a month. And then that's
why they gave that guy the job, because they felt bad for him.
Yeah, he cried. Coach, dog, it's 4 games. I know that's a lot, but y'all y'all gonna win these games. I saw the matchups. Y'all gonna win. So now he has the job. So I don't know if he got cried about that or what. But Jim going back to the Jim going back to the pros, he left because of what David said. It was like, all right, let me take a break.
Politics.
I'm over this NFL shit. Let me go to college because that's what a lot of people do.
You want to be the dictator. Yeah.
My dude that coached Allen Iverson in 01 and 04.
Oh, Larry Brown. Yeah,
Larry Brown.
Thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened? He went to Detroit and then he flamed out at Charlotte and he went running to college.
Yeah. And he's a very dictator. So
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, yelling at people, grown men and all that. But
why don't you try a little harder, Alan?
Right. Passive aggressive too.
Yeah.
He yelled, but he more so passive aggressive.
Yeah.
Well, if you didn't stay around the big booty holes, then you'll have more success, Alan. And then the Pistons, there's no telling what he said. Ben Wallace.
Oh my God.
Get a haircut.
The Last Dance footage of that would have been interesting. If there was a documentary crew following that team.
You can't have it. Rasheed Wallace is inside. Right. First of all, everybody got a podcast, right?
You want to hear his?
He has one.
No, I'm saying like that's the thing. Like you want to only hear his. Out of all the players, like only he should have a podcast. And you like knuckleheads, right?
Yeah, no, Rasheed. So I'm probably misphrasing it. He has a podcast and it's entertaining. Because it's just him telling stories and talking about the politics of the NBA. Because he cut a shoot promo on David Stern for like an hour.
To be fair, he was the guy who had the most technical fouls. So if there was someone to feel away about David Stern, it would be him. But that's the thing we always talk about when these athletes are able to tell these stories in their podcasts. I'm not saying they shouldn't. Yeah, everyone has a podcast. But when you're someone in a position like they are to tell stories, some have obviously been put up on a higher pedestal because they were long running. Like your love for all the smoke may be lower than it was when it launched, or et cetera, et cetera. You know, like Cam Newton's podcast is the one everyone talks about now. And again, like we had said, like he is right and wrong with his analysis. He is right to say not every quarterback is a playmaker, and there are a lot of game managers. But again, I don't want to trust a guy who looks like the mayor of Imagination Land. But but he has some points at times.
What was that movie with Johnny Depp? Not Willy Wonka, but it was like I think it was based on a Dr. Seuss book or something. He had a huge top hat. He had white face paint. This is a Johnny Depp movie. I swear I'm not making this up, people.
Oh, no, you're thinking of Alice in the Wonderland.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That scary looking Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, him as the Mad Hatter. Yeah. I never saw it.
So.
Again, I don't watch Tim Burton movies, so yeah.
Yeah, the only one I like is Batman Returns.
And even that's saying something.
Yeah,
Michelle Pfeiffer.
And Danny DeVito got the spiel coming out. Yeah, eating the fish heads. That's a racial term. Anyhow, Jim Harbaugh. Don't worry about it. Gran Torino has.
I know what you're talking about. I'm just saying. You know.
Yeah.
Them people. I'm just kidding.
He said a whole lot of stuff. He said.
Anyway, but yeah, Jim Harbaugh. And who were the other coaches? Because that was the thing. There was Jim Harbaugh. Raheem Morris got the Atlanta job.
Shouts out to Antonio Pierce again, Long Beach legend. He sounds just like my uncle. Exactly like my uncle.
So you have no problem with Antonio Pierce being from Long Beach, but Vince Staples is where you draw the line. I just can't believe it.
Where the hate? You know where the hate? Anybody that's in the chat.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. God damn it!
I was about to say Dan know why I don't like Vince Staples, and if you don't know, I can say it again.
Where was the graphic? Damn it! The coordinator David Canellis got the Carolina job. I think the only ones remain are Atlanta.
No, somebody just got the job.
No, I mean not Atlanta.
Yeah, that's not to correct you.
No, you're right. That's what I'm like. No, there was because it was a graphic with.
Because it's the Falcons. It's like, all right, cool.
Because it was a graphic of Vrabel and Bell. Oh, Seattle. That's what I was thinking. Seattle. Like one of the fucking bird teams. It's
that's
Seattle.
That's that job.
And what's the other team? So what do you think Belichick coaches a team?
I don't think people want him to coach.
Seems like it.
Because it's I want to come here and I want to change the organization around. What you want to do, Bill? I think we could fit him the next Tom Brady and probably make him better than Tom Brady. That's not going to happen, Bill.
Yeah, because look at Mac Jones. That's my example right there.
You know what it is? I'll say this probably with Bill. He probably just like entertaining it because people coming up to him like, "Oh, save us, Messiah, Bill." So it's probably that, but he probably like, I just want to kick it at the house. I want to go to them houses. Houses. That's all he want to do. He want to go back to tricking, man. We seen him leaving that house with no shirt on and it looked like it's 32 degrees. I think that was in Long Island too, ironically.
Yeah.
So yeah. I don't think he want to coach. I think he's just like, let's see who got the best offer. It's like you, right? If you want to get a better job, it's like, I mean, let me go see what's going on. But if I don't get a better job, I'll just do what I'm doing here.
And it's one of those things where like a better job might be able to next year. Like it's some of these coaches that didn't get fired probably will. Like the New Orleans coach still has his job, which is insane. Some team might. I mean, Mike Tomlin. They said his contract's going to expire after next season, but he's probably going to stay. Or maybe they're going to do the same thing as the Patriots to Belichick and let him go and try to find a job elsewhere. But that any team would take him. But some team is going to take him as soon as he's available. That's what I mean. Like team
exactly.
like New Orleans, a team that's a little bit away is just like, let's take this guy to
a little bit away from what?
No, like push us over the edge is what I'm saying. Like, like a team like, is Miami going to see Mike Tomlin as a better coach than Mike McDaniel?
You can get a better coach. It's the personnel that's not good. New Orleans has not been good in years. It's the personnel.
Yeah.
Because you know why? It's the Saints. Trash ass organization. Great city. Love New Orleans.
Atlanta's a beautiful city.
Yeah, New Orleans is great. I don't have no jokes because I don't want no problems with no Louisiana people. They are insane. I'm legit saying I love New Orleans. I never heard anybody say anything bad about New Orleans except for George Bush.
Oh, I mean,
yeah, I've never heard anybody. Yeah, you got to be idiot to say New Orleans is bad. Yeah, now, the only bad thing I'll say about New Orleans is the drunk white women.
But those exist everywhere.
Yeah, but in New Orleans it's on steroids because they act way worse than they would anywhere else.
Yeah, to each
best food in America too.
I'm happy to see Jim Harbaugh back in the NFL. He was my second favorite coach of all time. He was my first great Niners coach. And again, just seeing him on the sidelines in the NFL is going to be pure comedy again. And it's not going to go well right away. So he's going to be angry man from the jump.
Yeah, but at least he could be angry in LA. So
yeah, so you think he's gonna resurrect the Chargers? He's gonna make them great?
I hope so. I like the Chargers organization. They got some key pieces. I like Justin Herbert. Khalil Mack, that's still over there. I actually like that team.
I just love how, and people have been pointing this out because I realized it too. I just love how he went to Michigan and then coached at Michigan. He played for the Chargers, and now he's coaching the Chargers. And realistically, he had coached Stanford right before coaching the 49ers, and Stanford is the college equivalent of the NFL. So there's something to him about situations. He's a very my energy has to be there. Yeah, he's a guy who kind of again he's like me in a way, believes in the poeticness of life and all that fairy dust shit.
You got to, man, because everything is connected, man. Nothing is by accident. Everything is on purpose.
I mean, he literally copied the Houston Astros. He said, "Let's steal some signs and see if it works for us," and it did. So I applaud a man who cheats and gets away with it.
Can't be mad at that.
No, but let's talk about some movies. I'm going to let you lead off the Coleman Domingo talk because you've been hyped about this. So which one do you want to start off with? The Joe Jackson decision or the Nat King Cole decision?
I mean, the dude is how do I say this without sounding wild? He doing his job. He's doing his job. He hell of an actor, but he's doing his job. I will say Hey, they found the right Negro. They said this Jonathan Majors thing ain't gonna work no more. We got the right one. We got somebody else that's willing to dress like a One Piece character, but he do it off camera. So
First of all,
congratulations to him.
good looking man, sense of style. I applaud him. Great actor. He's phenomenal on Euphoria. As you said, it seems like the internet wants him to replace Jonathan Majors as
The internet. Them cast directors, brother, is done.
Well, those rumors again, like the Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards casting has not been fully confirmed, so we can't know anything yet until, again, like Sasha Banks showing up tonight or in AEW, we have to see it when we see it.
Also, why do y'all want Pedro to play that role? He got like 5-6 different roles on his plate right now.
Well, that's why he was my MVP of last year, because he was Last of Us, which was great. The Mandalorian was happening at the same time as The Last of Us, and it was the weakest season, but it's still The Mandalorian. He had a great SNL hosting appearance, probably the best in years. The Reed Richards casting, and then he was casted in Gladiator 2. Like, he won last year as a guy who was in his 40s.
You know who would have played a great Reed Richards? Stephen Hawkins.
See. Anyway, so Coleman Domingo is going to play Joe Jackson in the Michael Jackson biopic that's being directed by Antoine Fuqua, starring Jafar Jackson, son of Jermaine, correct?
Yeah, second son.
Okay. And someone said on Twitter, this was a great tweet where they're like, he went from playing Mr. and The Color Purple to Joe Jackson. There's something, maybe there's something beneath the surface with Coleman Domingo that we might want to look into.
There's something beneath the surface.
We got to look into the actors playing a certain type of roles.
Tito, come here.
Do you think it's going to be that? Because I told you I don't think this movie's going to be that.
Anime, come here.
And do you want to see those scenes in the movie?
You know they're gonna do that.
I don't think they will. I told you. I don't think it's going to be dark. I don't think it's going to be real.
Bruh, he was never over in that household. He was the biggest heel in that household. What are you Oh, they gonna show that. You got to make the hero the villain sometimes.
I don't think the Whitney Houston movie showed her doing crack. So,
well, that's different. We know it. God rest her soul.
Anyway, but talk about the Nat King Cole decision, because this is a movie he's gonna direct and star in. And explain, especially to me, the importance of a Nat King Cole movie, because I didn't bother to look up Nat King Cole. I'm not familiar with Nat King Cole.
Dog, you talking like I'm 80 years old. I don't know too much about Nat King Cole.
I thought you would. Don't you listen to old-timey music?
No fucking Nat King Cole.
Oh my God! I
start from 1979-ish to up there, not 1950. I can't listen to no music where I couldn't sit at the bar without getting harassed, yo. These white people keep bothering me. Ooh, I don't listen to that.
Oh, the only thing I know about Nat King Cole is the Chappelle skit when it goes, "On your titties, you trifling bitch." Like,
yeah,
that's the only thing
I can't listen to. They had like, bro, their hair was fried. Their hair looked like yours, bro.
Saying do up, do it.
No, but the thing is, he wasn't singing that way. I don't know. Ask Van. Van listen to all the old. Van want to be old. He listen.
Why would I want to talk to Van?
He listened to all that old stuff, bro. Like, I don't.
Because he's 8. Again, he had gray hairs at 6. Well, of course he listened to that stuff.
Yeah, he might be a time traveler too.
Oh my God! Now that you say that, it makes total sense.
Yeah, he definitely might be a time traveler, bro. He might be Doc Brown.
Yeah, get like the magnifying glass and look at a picture like, is that?
Yeah, instead of Great Scott, word is Bond. Word is Bond, Marty. But the Bronx is officially dead. Nah, I mean, cool. He's supposed to be playing Kane the Conqueror too, right?
Again, that's not officially announced. That's what everyone's hoping. That's what everyone's hoping, but we'll see.
If he want the role, he gonna book it now. When you start getting available, when you start getting roles like this, he'll make himself available. No, when you start getting roles like this, you'll get it.
No, I was telling this to Kiki the other night. Like, if this Michael Jackson movie is shooting now. Again, that's why they announced the casting, because he's joining the production. Yeah, the pre-production, remember? Because they showed the photo of him in the studio doing the on the toes move. So they're in pre-production. So this movie's going to be start shooting relatively quickly. The Nat King Cole movie is going to be after that, I assume. And let's not forget, even though they pushed King Dynasty and all that, I mean, granted, you can film scenes around him and without him. That's why I was telling her, like, the trickery that's involved in a lot of movies these days, if someone has actually have to be on set with the other actors. But still, this is, and the rumors that they were going to ban that entirely. So if you want to cast someone as, recast, I should say, as Kang, you have to do it quick with someone who's available, which is why, if it's him, is he going to push this Nat King Cole project to the side after the Michael Jackson movie and just do Kang until he's able to do the Nat King Cole movie? Which, again, it's maybe he can because he's directing it. So, but still, these are a lot of big power play moves because he got an Oscar nomination this year. So he has now become the golden man in Hollywood. That happens every year. There's always a person or two who gets 2 or 3 projects right after having a nomination or successful movie.
Because with the Nat King Cole, because it's basically looked at as a passion project. You still got a storyboard, you do pre-production, you still got a cast and all that. So that could be, he can start shooting that next year and it's fine. And it's a biopic, so people usually wait, later in the year or early in the year to do it. It's never during the summertime really for production.
Oh my God, he was born in 1990 and died in 1965. Jeez.
Wait, say again?
Nat King Cole was born in 1919 and died in 1965. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was up there.
I thought it was more so like 30s to 70s type of thing.
No, he was up there. But so he you can shoot that because that's a passion project. You got to do the money projects right now. Obviously, this biopic is a money project, and definitely King the Conqueror is a money project if offered. So he could put that, to the side. This Michael Jackson movie is probably going to be 2 months of principal photography at the most.
Yeah, especially his scenes.
Yeah, well, for him, probably just a month at the most. It might be 2 weeks. Antoine Fuqua ain't the most prestige director.
Apparently, Domingo had co-wrote the play Lights Out, Nat King Cole, which premiered at Geffen Playhouse. That interpretation imagines what might have been going through the singer's mind during the 1957 Christmas special on the Nat King Cole Show, the first network program hosted by an African-American. So he's had experience with Nat King Cole before. So like I said, this is a real passion project, bringing this to the big screen, which again, that's what I just said. When you get nominated for an Oscar, they go to you and say, what do you want to make next? Mm-hmm. What do you want? They give you 2 choices. They give you the paycheck job, which is probably what the Michael Jackson movie is. Yeah. And then they say, what do you want to make? They get the one for you, one for them mindset.
That's what Jamie Foxx did when he won Ray. He did that horrible stealth movie
Stealth?
Or whatever. Miami Vice.
He did paycheck. Yeah, he did.
He said it too, but it's smart.
Yeah,
because you start making 20 million a movie.
Nick Cage did it after leaving Las Vegas, but he did The Rock, Con Air, and Face Off. So he went 3 for 3 or 2 for 3. I'm not too big on Con Air, but at least The Rock and Face Off were had great.
No, Con Air is better than Face Off, and I like Face Off, but Con Air better.
We'll redebate that again on another
Hillbilly.
One of Adam Carolla's best jokes was how the plot of Con Air is flawed. They send him to jail for self-defense.
Yeah.
They're like
with a bunch of serial killers.
He's like, the drunken yokels get a flirt on him and on his lady, and they come at him. All he does is defend himself, and they sent him to jail? Oh, because you're trained, you're as lethal. You're like a deadly weapon.
Military, yeah.
What? What's that say about our justice system?
That's what the thing is,
says. It's a great joke. Yeah.
Yeah, my fault to cut you off. He was in the military, but they treated him like he was like special ops forces and all that.
Oh no, yeah, but he has the great liners. Like he shows up into the bar with the uniform on, and he's like, "Baby, I just want to die in your arms." And the drunken yokels are like, "Hey, soldier boy, what you doing over there? And he's like, in what world are we picking on soldiers, huh? On what world are we picking on the troops?
Especially not in the South in America.
Yeah,
He'd be considered a hero. First of all, he would have got off scot-free if he would have killed them.
That's what, and of course, like the whole plot of this movie was flawed from the jump. Not a plane full of convicts. That's great. That's one of the times when they're like, what if a plane full of convicts and they took it over? That's like a real, well, I mean, now we're talking. Like,
that's how I feel about Four Brothers. That's a conversation for another day.
Four Brothers is John Singleton being like, I'm going to bring back blaxploitation, but in the modern day.
Bro, that plot is so horrible. I had to rewatch it last night. That movie did not age well.
It's a blaxploitation movie, and blaxploitation movies were like ideas that don't make sense, but they're a commentary on society.
Well, I guess Mark Wahlberg is Dolomite.
No, it's about, you know what I mean, the society of like the rundown city and the drug kingpin controlling it all, and what's that, and the cops in on the take. That's the commentary on, not the white man who thinks he's black because he's got black brothers so he can say the N-word. That's a different type of commentary, but I don't think that's what he was intending.
Yeah. Tyrese was Roman Pierce throughout that whole decade. People,
he's only Roman Pierce, as we've said. Yeah. After Baby Boy, he could only act as Roman Pierce, because even in Transformers, he's Roman Pierce. Yeah. Left side, or what's he say? Like, yeah, right cheek, right cheek. You know what's he say? Yeah. Our next movie, though, normally we have hard fucking pass. We don't have an opposite of a hard fucking pass. I guess it would be like turn that shit up, and that's the movie Monkey Man by Dev Patel. That's all I kept thinking of, like, use like this is a problematic ass name for a movie.
For me, it was no black people in that movie.
But this movie, it was pitched as John Wick, but in Mumbai. But really, it's Ambach. When you watch the trailer, it's got a whole lot of similarity to Tony Jaa's Ambach, particularly the first one, and a little bit of The Protector. Not just to say because the involvement of, the Middle East and Asia and all that, but Dev Patel is kicking ass and kind of has a similar fight scene in like a makeshift underground boxing ring, and the way like the elephants are used in Ambach is like the way this monkey character is like the spiritual guide for him and the strength he gets. It's a mixture of that and like he's supposed to be Batman and Spider-Man in a way, like a crime fighter. I thought this trailer was dope. I remember they announced this movie a while back, but I didn't think it was going to turn out like this. Not at all. I thought it was going to be like a serious drama, not this fucking kick-ass movie with dope action. What do you think about it? Are you hyped for it, or are you so-so?
Well, I'm getting hyped about nothing, but yes, I will be there to see it. April 2nd. Is that Mania weekend? Or is April 6th?
Let me see. And Dev Patel, he was in The Green Knight. He was in the Oscar-winning Slumdog Millionaire.
That's where I know him from. I was like, damn, he looked familiar. But I didn't want to be racial.
I suggested that maybe he should be a candidate for Bond. I think a lot of people. I think so. I mean, like, because remember I told you my idea.
You're right, but that Bond idea is done.
No, I told you what my Bond idea would be. It would be 3 trainees vying for the spot of 007. You'd have to survive your mission to become 007. It'd be him, Henry Golding, and Daniel Kaluuya. It would be them like going through the trials to become James Bond 007, and whoever survives wins.
That's a great idea. No, I wasn't laughing at that. That's a great idea because at this point they went through all the books. Obviously, that's why we got the last few movies. So now it's just all original ideas. But I think the IP actually might be dead because it's Hollywood. They always want to resurrect something like tomorrow. So if they haven't said anything about a Bond movie, I think it might actually be done.
It is the same weekend. It opens on the 5th, and Mania Night 1 and 2 is the 6th and the 7th. So that's a busy weekend.
Right. I'll be in Philly watching it. I got to figure out how I'm going to do that, but I'll be out there watching it.
But this is a movie that Patel also is writing and producing. And Jordan Peele took this movie from Netflix and said it needs to be seen in the theater through his Monkey Paw Productions and Universal distributing it. So, because he's been kind of set up at Universal. I think I know Nope was, but I think Us was as well. And his next movie, which he said will be his favorite if he can make it, is he like envisions it like the way he has it in his head, if it can come out like that, he said will be his best movie. And I'm like, well, I'm looking forward to that. It was supposed to come out Christmas of this year, but the writer and actor strike pushed that. But Monkey Man, watch the trailer if you haven't. Like I said, it's just looks like a kick-ass movie with a good message too, and it's not just about like the vengeance, because like every action movie has to be about avenging someone, but I think it's about the crime in India and how there's levels to it, much like how John Wick kind of dived into that, but it created a whole fictional underground of society with the homeless people and the high table and all that. So, but again, it's rare to see someone again of his skin color and from his country. Like normally, I mean, like India has its own market of film, not just the Bollywood stuff, but they have a lot of big action movies too. That movie RRR came out 2 years ago and was a big deal. So the stuff in the Middle East, like studios have been trying to capitalize on that market for years, not just WWE with the gender stuff, but the show Citadel was kind of basically made for that. The other trailer that dropped this week was one that you and I had spent a lot of time talking about. What's the name of this? Was the working title for this week's episode, which was Roadhouse, the remake to Roadhouse, starring Jake Gyllenhaal and one Conor McGregor, who, I mean, yes, first of all, I did not expect his acting to be good, but it is bad. And like I said, I tweeted this, it's bad by bad movie standards. It's still bad.
Yeah.
Like you said, like this might not be a good movie after you saw the trailer.
No, it looks horrible.
What looks horrible about it? What's the most? What
everything? Like maybe it's just how they edit the trailer, but you got to edit the trailer to make it coincide with what the movie is, what's it going to be. So like the trailer is bad. It's too much dialogue. First of all, it should be more ass kicking because, like you said,
more Roadhouse and less Aaron Sorkin is what you're saying.
Yeah, more roundhouse kicks, and they up here got all this dialogue. They keep showing the main woman like, all right, cool, we know she here. Dude, it's just like,
all right. No, I know you're not complaining about seeing Daniela Melchior, so.
No, I'm not. It's just like, all right, we get it. She in the movie, cool. That's what's up. But then it's like it's all this extra dialogue that we don't need. I'm like, okay, so this might be the whole movie right here. They just said, you know what, we ain't gonna edit shit. So and then Connor came through on the screen. I was like, all right, we might have some saving grace. And that made it even worse. Like he showed up blown up on set. Just looked like he been eating donuts. Just showing up to set, dog. And it's just like it's him, but it's to him, if that makes sense. It's like they probably told him, just be yourself. All right,
yeah. That's the part I was confused about because I'm like, his accent. I'm like, obviously he's still Irish, but he's not Conor McGregor Irish. He's like
Lucky Charm Irish.
Yeah, he's the guy from Austin Powers. They're always after me, Lucky Charms. Like he's an American person doing an Irish accent. He's me, basically.
Yeah.
And however, the action does look good. It looked as good as I didn't expect it to look good, to be honest. Again, we talked about Doug Liman, and Doug Liman made Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Jumper, the Firstborn film, and Live, Die, Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow. So his status as an action director, like he can make some decent set pieces. But the fight scenes in this movie actually look really good, particularly the Conor McGregor ones where you posted the image. Like he punches him through the fucking car window, which is kind of badass. It's insane. And this is after like 2 seconds before in the trailer, he fucking headbutts Jake Gyllenhaal at point blank range. He just boom, like the Bruce Lee finger punch, like he's that close to him and just cracks his face in. And later in the trailer, Jake Gyllenhaal gives Conor McGregor a fucking dragon screw leg whip like he's Tanahashi. It's insane. The action in this trailer. It's going to be the best part of the movie because I agree. A lot of the plot and the dialogue was just meh. And that was the first one. That was the original. Hopefully we can get Emilio Sparks, my arch nemesis, on once this movie drops to talk about this and to talk about the original. The one thing they didn't hint at, and which I'm curious about, is who will play the Sam Elliott type character in this version, because obviously that was the whole kind of backbone of the original Roadhouse is that Sam Elliott shows up to assist him in him fixing this town, and they didn't reveal anyone like that. So, and I looked at the cast, I can't tell who it would be. But yeah, there's some crazy boat crash on the sea. It's kind of doing some extra stuff. Obviously, him being the UFC fighter has amplified it up. And Doug Liman said in an interview that I think was on Deadline, I had read it, I couldn't find it again, but that he thought this was supposed to be a theatrical release. This movie is going to play on opening night at South by Southwest. And he said, I'm not going to be in attendance to see this because I was promised a theatrical release. Apparently, Amazon
he wanted to lose money.
Amazon had changed their mind, but Amazon has they've given 2 other movies theatrical releases this year. I'm going to read the next one in a second. You might be for that one. But he said, I thought it would. And especially since this tested high, according to him, he said it tested better than my best movie, which was Mr. and Mrs. Smith. First of all, that was 20 years ago. Second of all, that had 2 of the biggest movie stars at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't just their drawing power that got people to go see that movie. It was the fact that they were fucking at the same time that got people to go see that movie. Right. It was the drama of the movie, not the selling point. Even though it's a movie I enjoy, I like Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
The only thing I co-signed Brad Pitt doing.
Yeah, because you don't like the Ocean's movies. You like the first one, but not the rest of
them.
What? Yeah.
I like the first and the third one.
That's what I mean. Because see, that's by saying you don't like Ocean's 12, you're saying you don't like the Ocean's movies.
First and third are great.
No. The third is not good. The second is great, and the first is phenomenal.
The third one had Al Pacino in it, and the plot was still good.
Oh my god, not Al Pacino doing his man.
They had to re-up on the old guy.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, I get Doug Liman, but again, Doug Liman had made American Made with Tom Cruise, which I think made no money. And he made Edge of Tomorrow / Live Die Repeat, which was one of the most notorious box office bombs, but great movie. It has that cursed history of being and that's why the sequel has taken so long to get in production. But Tom Cruise is back at Warner Brothers, as we discussed a few weeks ago, so that movie might be in the pipeline again. But meanwhile, him and Tom Cruise are supposed to make the space movie, and what I mean is they're supposed to make the movie where they actually shoot in space.
Yeah.
Which is still
that budget about to be insane,
but also like unrealistic at the same time. Like I don't get the physics of it.
Yeah, how do you make a movie in space about space and it be no more than like 10 minutes? That's a lot of production.
I think it's supposed to be like a space heist, but like they're supposed to actually go to space to film the shuttle scenes or like the space station scenes. Like
what equipment though? That's what I'm saying. They're gonna spend a month in space.
Well, I mean, you could just put the RE or the Red camera right on your shoulder and take that bitch up to space, I guess. But still, I mean, aren't you going to be in zero? Aren't you going to be in 0G going like?
And you got to get outside the ship if they're trying to do something action related.
I think but it's Elon Musk produced as well, so they're using whatever his rockets that are able to send civilians, because those are, successful.
They're gonna die. That's what I'm saying. They're gonna die.
That's why that project has not begun at all. It's just been rumored, and that's why Tom Cruise is like, "What else should I do?" But no, a movie that Amazon / because it's Amazon MGM. Amazon purchased MGM after they went bankrupt in the last few years, and technically this is what Roadhouse is. But so is this movie. Zoe Kravitz's directorial debut called Blink Twice. So this is the movie where she met Channing Tatum, and that's why they got together, is on the set of this movie.
Okay.
So this will have a global theatrical release by Amazon MGM on August 23rd. But tell me which movie should be in theaters. So Roadhouse or the one I'm about to read. In this movie, written by Kravitz and E.T. Feigenbaum, tech billionaire Slater King, played by Channing Tatum, meets cocktail waitress Frida, played by Naomi Aki. She was the woman who helped them in the last Star Wars movie, The Rise of Skywalker, the one who they said might be Lando's daughter. That's who this actress is, Naomi Aki. At his friend-raising gala, and sparks fly. He invites her to join him and his friends on a dream vacation on his private island. It's paradise. Wild nights blend into sun-soaked days, and everyone's having a great time. No one wants the trip to end, but as strange things start to happen, Frida begins to question her reality. there is something wrong with this place. She'll have to uncover the truth if she wants to make it out of the party alive. That's the movie they're going to put in the theaters over the Roadhouse movie. And granted, I think the Roadhouse movie would tank, like you just said. Jake Gyllenhaal doesn't open movies, and Doug Liman's track record has been bad. But I think the reason they're putting this movie out is because Channing Tatum can make more money than Jake Gyllenhaal can at the box office.
And I think this is a draw too. I think it'll actually make money.
Do you think the idea is interesting?
I think
so as well.
Because you got a fan base of young women to older women that watch this. You got them other people that'll watch this from young to old.
Well, the rest of the cast is Aaliyah Shawkat, who was the daughter on Arrested Development. Simon Rex from the Scary Movie. Adria Horna, the Prescia from Morbius. Haley Joel Osment, Christian Slater, Kyle MacLachlan, and Gina Davis. That's the rest of the cast.
Yeah, that's a draw.
And Amazon MGM has made $77 million with The Beekeeper, the Jason Statham David Ayer movie. It made $45 million with the George Clooney movie Boys in the Boat, which is about the guys who row boats for the Olympics. It'll also have the Zendaya tennis movie Challengers and Dwayne Johnson's holiday movie Red One on November 15th. So Doug Liman, I think, is just pissed that his movie wasn't picked to be a theatrical release. And he wrote a whole thing where the studios had not selected mine after all, and it's a piece I'll share. But I understand. I just watched The Player 2 weeks ago for the first time. I'd never seen it. And at the end, Tim Robbins talks about how I hear 1,000 pitches a year, and my studio can only make 12 movies.
Yeah,
because at the end, it's a business.
Yeah, it's thousands of scripts, it's thousands of movies that are produced every year that you might not hear, like spec scripts, it's written scripts, it's so many scripts and projects that are known that fall on the desk of these producers every single year, and it has been for decades now. But again, like David just said, there's only 10 at the most that can get picked up now, probably a little bit more than that, just because Hollywood want to re-up on their money. But only few in between that can sell like this. Like this story sells itself because you got to think of the marketing standpoint. But bunny rabbits in space, unless it's animated, ain't gonna make no money.
Or this movie, which is our final topic of the day, and funny again, at all very Amazon centric, which is the John Cena's newest film, Ricky Stanicky. I don't want to say this is a hard fucking pass, but I've already stated my. Go ahead.
We'll talk a little bit about this because Tonio got a lot to say about it. I ain't gonna talk too much.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He got a lot that he wants to say.
Next week we have
it.
a special guest, a fellow member of the C Nation, a brother in arms, as we'll say. But I'll just say I'll reiterate my point a few weeks ago, which is John Cena's choices have not been working out as of late. It was pushed back from last year to this year is what it is, Tristan. It was supposed to be.
That's crazy. That's what everybody know about the movie. That's crazy.
That's how it's advertised. That's literally how they're selling the movie. That's why it's the purpose.
But everybody know for that. Forget the
they knew what they were doing with that movie when they made it. Come on.
Yeah, because it was the first thing that popped into people's mind.
Yeah, it was supposed to come out in the fall because it was supposed to be an Oscars movie potentially, but the writers' actor strike was going on, and they needed Zendaya to market that movie, so they pushed it back to the summer of this year, I think is what it is, spring or summer. But the Ricky Stanicky trailer did not look good. I am worried if John Cena will get back on track because Peacemaker season 2 isn't on the way due to James Gunn's involvement with the Superman movie and the DC universe as a whole. Argyle is out next week. I will go to see Argyle, which John Cena has a small role in. That's potentially supposed to be a franchise in itself. But other than that, he has another movie in the works with Awkwafina and Simu Liu, who is Shang-Chi. Directed by Paul Feig, who did Bridesmaids and other comedies, The Heat. But this just does not look good. This is by Peter Farrelly, of all people, an Oscar winner. But he did There's Something About Mary, Dumb and Dumber. He won the Oscar for Green Book because the Oscars love when white people can learn black people are people too. That's what that movie's about, and I ain't seen it, but I know that's what it's about. Because the guy's Italian from Jersey, like, I guess you people are all right, ain't you? Yeah,
Right.
And that's the movie.
Right. You want some buffalo cannolis, buffalo chicken cannolis,
and the Oscars are like, bravo! Oh my god, bravo! Oh, good.
I got Mahershala nominated.
But again, I think they were in love with Mahershala, but he had the better performance the year before in Moonlight, and that's when he got the Oscar for too. Again, he went back to back with it. I'm not knocking him for getting back to back. I'm just saying I think the Oscars were just like, let's give it to him again. I can't remember the best other supporting actors of that year, but again, Peter Farrelly, he had made comedies, strictly comedies, before directing Green Book, and he then made that movie with Zac Efron that no one watched, the greatest beer run ever. Zac Efron's in this movie. It's funny how he went from playing Kevin Von Erich to being in a movie with John Cena. And again, and you see,
like, that's High School Musical right there.
But again, when you see how in great shape he got in as Kevin Von Erich, compared to the other wrestler, a real wrestler, I should say, he's still not even close. Like, again, John Cena at this stage in life is still twice the size of Zac Efron, which is crazy. John Cena has some good moments in the trailer, but the overall vibe of the trailers is not good. Yeah. I'm nervous. I'm nervous for him.
I'm going to save all my material for next week.
I mean, we talked about it last year at Fast X. It was a bad decision to kill him off, but he won't even be dead. Watch. I know that's a spoiler, but who cares? Because they're just going to bring him back.
Y'all don't watch Fast 10. Don't watch Fast 10. That's not a spoiler.
What else? Oh, my God. This movie has 6 writers. No wonder it's bad.
Why do you need 6 writers for a comedy? It's comedy.
Yeah.
Just be funny.
Oh, my God.
I ever do a comedy, I need half a writer. Don't give me a full writer. Give me half a writer. We'll pick it up from there. 6 writers for a comedy is atrocious. What?
Okay, so he made, because remember, they were the Farrelly brothers, him and his brother Bobby. They made Dumb and Dumber, Kingpin, There's Something About Mary, Me, Myself, and Irene, which I remember seeing that. I was like, what the hell is this movie as a kid?
Movies ever.
Oh, because he has the 3 black sons and they make him watch Def Comedy Jam.
Not even just that.
Or when he takes the shit on the lawn and then it cuts to ice cream being made.
No, when he finally just loses it. Yeah, it's a combination of everything when he finally loses it. Renee Zellweger. What's a Renee Zellweger?
Osmosis Jones, which...
Classic.
I know that's one of your favorites. A movie that kind of grosses me out when it's the Bill Murray stuff, but the stuff when it's Osmosis Jones and the pill guy, I got to look up his name because I want to...
When he was about to kick the bucket.
Drix, Agent Drixenol. Oh yeah, Lawrence Fishburne's the villain in the movie. I forgot about that.
Larry Fishburne, yeah.
No, I don't know that. Shallow. They made Shallow Hal, Stuck on You. My dad loves Stuck on You. Fever Pitch, The Heartbreak
Kid. Yeah, I've definitely seen Shallow Hal several times. That's what Tim Robbins.
I've seen it once.
Put his hand on the Tony Spirits. Come on.
Yeah, I didn't like Shallow Hal when I saw it. Hall Pass, the Three Stooges movie, which, do you remember what one of the original cast of the Three Stooges movies was supposed to be before they picked the guys that they did?
Jim Carrey, Benicio del Toro, and I forgot the last person.
And your man, the short king himself, Sean Penn.
Okay, that's why I'm glad it didn't get made.
And they did the Dumb and Dumber sequel, Dumb and Dumber 2.
It was horrible.
But yeah, it's not great. And that's an Amazon movie, but that's on Amazon Prime, just like Roadhouse, not a theatrical release. So
smart. Yeah, speaking of not making $1,
well, the last John Cena movie didn't make any money. The Freelance movie, as we briefly talked about, he didn't promote it, didn't say a goddamn word about it. It just came and made 0 on Rotten Tomatoes, and he didn't say anything.
He knew.
I'm just going to read his filmography, the one the show. Thank y'all for joining us once again, because we did 2 episodes. Oh, yeah, the Acme Coyote versus Acme movie, which was canceled, but still is being
shopped around
with no further developments after that rumor. Yeah, that movie with Simu Liu and Aquafina also has Sean William Scott in it, called Grand Theft Grand Death Lotto.
All right.
New
Somebody
LA
get sued.
New LA transplant Katie accidentally finds herself with the winning ticket and must join forces with the amateur jackpot protector, Noel, to make it to sundown in order to claim her multi-billion-dollar prize, all while dealing with Noel's protection rival Louis. What the hell kind of Louis Lewis, who also wants. That's why I can't even read this. I'm like, this sounds terrible. You know, when you read something like this sounds horrible as I'm reading it. Louis Lewis, who also wants to get her son to sundown in order to claim his rich protection commission. Oh, so Aquafina wins the lottery. She hires John Cena to protect her so no one can steal the ticket from her to cash it in. And then Simu Liu is the guy trying to steal the ticket from them so he can claim it for his own. Ugh. This sounds horrible. Ugh. And his other movie, this is one we talked about last year, or 2 years ago, I think at this point, when it was announced, which was Heads of State with him and Idris Elba. This was the action movie that they were going to do together after being in The Suicide Squad. I believe that's also an Amazon. Yep, an Amazon MGM movie. So just cast him as live action Buzz Lightyear. I'm begging you. I said that 3 years ago.
Yeah.
You and Cal laughed. I said, just do it. Just make him live action Buzz Lightyear. He can do it. The Buzz Lightyear CGI movie was I watched it. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't good. But just do it. Just put John Cena in the Buzz Lightyear costume. It'll make $500 million, and people will love it.
He might have to, man, because he got to get back to being the draw for Arizona.
Yeah. But anything else? Anything we're forgetting that you can think of before we watch the Rumble? Are you ready for the Rumble, the Royal Rumble, as he said?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely ready. Apparently, I'll just say everything else. Thank y'all for being here. Again, hit that like button. New subscribers, hit the subscribe. Otherwise than that, I'll say about the Mania. I think I talked about it a little bit. There was like, surprise at the end of the show. I'm like, oh.
What show?
Mania. I mean, not Mania. I'm sorry, Rumble. They keep, the fans, the marks, no disrespect, but the marks keep saying MJF gonna show up.
Oh, the Tony Khan thing. Let's just say that real quick. You had said he's lost it. What I've been telling y'all for years.
Yeah. He crazy.
He's a loser. Again, L7. Again,
no, he's just out of his mind, bro.
He has to go on Twitter and say it's going to be good again, like it was 3 years ago at this point. Come on.
That was their last good year.
I think that year's a little overrated, in my honest opinion.
You're bugging. We might have to talk about that some other time because you're bugging. That was their best year ever, 2021.
Yeah, I get real excited for Britt Baker title offenses. Let me tell you,
I do.
That's because you want to hit,
yeah. No disrespect to Adam Cole, yeah.
Boom. Is that what you do when you see him? He walks in on y'all. Boom, baby.
No, I'm just gonna be like, damn, bro. I hate to hurt your feelings. Baby.
Sorry about your damn look. No, thank y'all. We'll see y'all next time. Again, with a special guest. Unless there's an emergency, we have to go live before that. But like Banks said, make sure you're subscribed, turn those alerts on, like, comment, share, all that. Twitter, Instagram. If you use Threads, I know you were using Threads for a bit. I know you were on that wave because no one was there, so you're like, this is my place. No one can bother me here.
But then I was like, yeah, it's not enough comedy on here.
Yeah, because when you talk to yourself, you're like, oh my god, it's just me here.
That's how I am on most social media. Well,
yeah, but
on Twitter and TikTok.
We'll see y'all next time. Peace.